Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 26th is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry.
This deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. We are thankful for many things this year and every year and hope that everyone is able to enjoy time with family and friends as we reflect on what we're thankful for. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialist here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available. And we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from. Plus, qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Hondas, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
The electrical workers of local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
This is a presentation of Nebraska high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. High school football broadcasts are presented by NextAg Appraisal and Realty, Sunbelt Rentals, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Jimmy John's, Teammates, Members Own Credit Union, and DOT Highway Safety, and Play It Again Sports. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman.
Welcome into Memorial Stadium, just moments away from the Class A state championship game. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman alongside. It's going to be a good one as we have the kings of the Class A world the last 4 or 5 years, the Omaha Westside Warriors, going up against the 11-1 Millard South Patriots. Once again, Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman with you. Jay, welcome in to Memorial Stadium, a place you're very familiar with. It's going to be a good one tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think this is a game between two schools that know each other very, very well. I guess respect each other a little and want to beat each other major. And you know what? This is a game that maybe everybody thought was going to happen last year. It didn't, but you get it this year, and it's 2 star-studded teams and 2 great coaching staffs, a bunch of great athletes, and definitely by a big margin, the two best teams in the state this year.
Well, there's a lot of storylines to certainly talk about, a lot of players to discuss, and we'll get to all of that over the course of the next couple of hours. But first off, we can't bury the lead that Paul Lamoni, the head coach of the Omaha Westside Warriors, not going to be on the sidelines tonight. He's in the hospital with a medical emergency. So Paul Lamoni, the head coach of the Warriors, will not be on the sidelines tonight coaching in the Class A state championship game. Maybe a little something for the Warriors to play for.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been a great addition to Westside, and obviously the kids look up to him, and it's bigger than football. I mean, you heard Damon Benny talk about it earlier before the teams took the field for their warm-ups. It's everybody loves each other in that Westside program, and so they definitely are going to be motivated. They have a very, very good staff that's going to be able to pull the weight for them, but then ultimately, or in addition, they have a extra motivation. But there's no more motivation that you need to try to win your third state championship in a row. But I guarantee you, no matter where Coach Paul is, he's definitely watching or being abreast to the outcome of this game.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, when you look at the Omaha Westside Warriors, a team that we're familiar with, they're familiar with this field as well. It's their 40th appearance in the state tournament. But then most importantly, as Jay mentioned, going for 3 straight tonight. However, there's also it's also 5 straight because they won it in 2020. The one that they played in 2021 against Gretna was vacated because Gretna had an ineligible player on their team. That's the one year that they were runner-up and the Warriors were. Then they won it in 2022 and in 2023. And in that 2021, they just didn't give it to anybody. It was vacated away from the Gretna Dragons, and it wasn't given to the Warriors that year. So Warriors won it 2020, 2022, 2023. So essentially, they're the last 4 valid champions.
Yeah, and look, that's what when you talk about building a program, Westside Warriors definitely have a football program, and you don't do that just by going and accumulating athletes and throwing the ball out there and letting them play. They foster relationships not only with the kids and the parents and create a community atmosphere, a lot of team bonding and development on and off the field, and try to get these kids ready for the next level of football, or more importantly, the next level of life. And it shows out there on the field. They the first 2 championships, I would probably argue that they weren't the more talented team, but they were the better team. They were immensely talented the last 2 years. And then now they're facing a team across the field there in Millard South that is probably one of the most talented teams, quite frankly, in the last 10, 15 years in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. However, Millard South not as familiar to this field, to this stage at the state championship as Westside. Not many people are, but Millard South hasn't been in the state championship game since 2010. They were runner-up back in 2010. They won the Class A title the year before in 2009. Not going to have Dylan Cool on defense. He's injured. He's been out for the year for a good chunk of the time. But, man, there's a lot of talent. Let's start with the quarterback, Jet Tamala.
Yeah, Jet Tamala is a record-setting quarterback for Millard South, and he burst on the scene last year, obviously with his connection with Amarion Jackson. And they've been connecting on every single route in the route tree since they've been in 4th grade, and they put it on display last year, and they've taken it up to another level, or he's taking his game up to another level this year. Much talk about how many offers he has, which is more or less Division II. The Power 4 will come very shortly. He's a great prospect, a legit 6'4", live arm, athletic, tough. And the good thing about it, Nick, and one of the things that we saw last year when they lost to Elkhorn South, it was like, okay, he needs to get better at some things. Not only did he get better at it, I think he accentuated some of his positives that he did last year. So this is going to be a good test for him. Also, Isaac Jensen, kind of like the duo tight end, back when you have 2 great tight ends, he's out as well. And so that bodes well for Westside, but ultimately that this talent on this Millard South team is really, really, really good. And also let's not minimize the coaching job they've done over there of getting these guys, get them in to have a team goal, and then obviously dealing with the pressure of trying to live up to this hype. You got to think both teams are essentially undefeated in the state of Nebraska. And when you see Millard South and their talent in their offseason, the pressure is solely on this sideline. And for them to embrace the pressure and maybe exceed expectations, I think they're averaging close to 56 points a game. Every game they've been able to turn it on and then pour it on. that lets you know that they're well coached and disciplined, and everybody's playing for a bigger purpose.
Yeah, the head coach for the Millard South Patriots is Ty Wisdom. I mean, we mentioned it, the weapons that Millard South has on the offensive side of the ball. Amarion Jackson, 48 catches, 733 yards, and 7 scores. But then 2 transfers. Deshaun Prince, who has 16 catches, 335 receiving yards, and 5 scores. And then the Power 4 recruit, in Chase Lofton, who has on the season 54 catches, 811 yards, and 12 scores. Lofton, a transfer from Elkhorn North. Deshaun Prince, a transfer from Omaha Central.
Yeah, both of them. I mean, listen, everybody that we just mentioned are Power 4, have numerous Power 4 offers. But the 2 guys that just transferred in, Chase Lofton, you see him walking around. He's a 6'6" kid, 230 pounds. And listen, not only the talent level is on display tonight, but you see Matt Rule and company there into the northeast end zone. They're here to watch him up and live in person. But you got him, and then you got Deshaun Prince, who's really, really good wide receiver prospect, but really has shined when he plays defensive back, corner, and safety, and has been able to have 2 interceptions. So you get some of the best talent to come there, not only to try to go and win a state championship, but ultimately to play with some better players, to be pushed, to be trained, and to be developed, and that's what they've done with Millard South.
We'll talk about some younger guys, right? There's a lot of experience on Millard South sideline, some younger guys for Omaha Westside at the quarterback position. You have number 2, Braylon Warren, a sophomore, 6'3", good size, 200 pounds on him. But they also have some experience. Defensive side, Christian Jones. We'll talk about Christian in just a moment. Braylon Warren at quarterback, what does he give you in a younger guy?
He gives you everything that you want. I mean, he's 6'2", 6'3", and he's a great athlete. Don't think he can't run. He will run. Trust me, he is a phenomenal athlete. He can pick him up, put him down. Very smooth. Knows the game. Been well trained. Plays summer club kind of 7-on-7 with a lot of these kids on Millard South and obviously on Omaha Westside. So you're getting this is a legitimate quarterback battle. The 2 best quarterbacks in the state going at it. And, obviously the 2 best teams as well.
It should be a really good one. Lastly, but not least, Nebraska commit Christian Jones at the linebacker position. I saved the best for last, best position for last.
Yeah.
Right? What does Christian Jones do defensively?
Christian Jones is, look, he's burst on the scene as like an 8th grader. I remember seeing him, and I know his dad pretty well. I was like, man, he's built like a grown man, and he plays like it. And he's gotten better at the little things every single year. And that's why, he was a potentially almost a low 4-star recruit, high 4-star recruit. And it's a big get for Nebraska. He gives you position flexibility, being able to rush. He's been able to obviously play stack linebacker, and also he's able to cover. So it's a clash of the Titans tonight of talent on talent, coaching staff against coaching staff, and the best is going to survive.
It's going to be a really good one. We're under the lights here at Memorial Stadium. It's Westside and Millard South. In just a couple of minutes, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, it's kickoff between the Warriors and the Patriots in the Class A title game on 93.7 The Ticket.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Sea-Doo dealership. Score up to $300 off or a free 2-year warranty on 2024 Sea-Doo Sparks and $500 off or a free 2-year warranty on all other brand new 2024 Sea-Doos. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of September. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and watercraft in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just moments away from the kickoff between Omaha Westside and Millard South here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman, Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Just a couple blocks away from us here on the west side of Memorial Stadium, 6th floor here in the press boxes. Westside will be in their all blacks with the red helmets. It's a sleek uniform, while you have the clean whites of Millard South with the Millard South Patriot logo on each side of the helmet, red letters, red numbers on the white jerseys, white pants, and white helmets for the Patriots. All right, Jay, let's go keys to the game. One for Millard South, one for Westside. What are we thinking? Yeah, Millard South, obviously, they want to they all year they want to strike fast and then keep striking all game, and it's the exact opposite for Westside. Westside wants to keep this game into a low number of total possession games. They want it to play tight. They want it to come down to experience and physicality. Whereas Omaha or Millard South wants to try to get it into a track meet. So it's styles make fights. Yep. Whoever can show as much poise and play within themselves for the full 60 minutes or for 4 quarters, is going to win it. And you listen, we see this every Saturday, and we call a lot of high school games, both in football and basketball, that 4 quarters is very long. Mm-hmm. It's longer than you think, and so you can't win a game in the first drive. You can't really lose it. So you got to make sure you're willing to deal with the ebbs and flows. And then once you get down to it and everybody's got to kind of settle in, that you're the most disciplined team to win out. Once again, high school coverage brought to you by our friends at Next Ag Appraisal and Realty, your land, your legacy, their solutions. Visit nextagrealestate.com to learn how their firsthand experience can help you in valuing, managing, and selling your property. All right, some statistics here. First for the Millard South Patriots. I mean, we talked about it. Jet Tamala, as we're waiting for kickoff here. Jet Tamala, 230 of 327 passing, 3,444 passing yards on the season. He has 44 touchdown passes, 2 INTs. Obviously, we talked about the weapons that Millard South has. For Westside, just a quarterback comparison, because that's going to be a lot of conversations tonight. 139 pass completions in 200 attempts for Braylon Warren, 2,053 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 INTs. And that's because at running back, they have a pretty good guy in the name of Tavon Jenkins, who has 215 carries for over 1,800 yards and 21 touchdowns. Yeah, Tate Jenkins, as he likes to be called, is probably going to be the X factor in this game. If it just stays on schedule and they're able to churn out yards with him, the advantage and the momentum will stay on the west side sideline. And then on the other side, if Jet Tamala can continue his torrid pace as far as throwing the ball, then Millard South would probably pull it out. And one thing I also want to say, Nick, is that Jet Tamala has been a record-setting quarterback. Against Kearney, he set a state record in 3 years of going against a team. It's a little bit over 1,200 yards. So look for them then tonight to test this west side defensive backfield early and often. This is a Westside team that graduated a lot of talent at some key positions last year, but here they are once again back at Memorial Stadium. We are underway as Millard South fields the kickoff. This is number 9, Amarion Jackson on the return. He gets across the 30-yard line, and that is where we will see Jet Tamala and this Millard South offense take the field. So once again, it is 29 degrees at kickoff. Under the lights, it's pretty chilly evening. No wind, though. No wind. Yeah. No, pretty chilly evening here at Memorial Stadium. Omaha Westside searching for 3 straight state championships. Millard South searching for their first since since 09. It's their first appearance in a state title since 2010. First snap from scrimmage is going to be a handoff here offensively to number 6. That is number 8. Thank you. Gabriel Pruka, the junior running back. He gets a couple of yards forward for a 2-yard gain, brings up 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, and Pruka was almost a game time decision. If you see it right there, he has a little wrap on his knee, but you knew he was going to try to, take it, man up tonight. He's the guy that they use to settle things down. Do you remember, Nick, when we saw them against Gretna last year? The screen passes. When they need a big play, if it's not Amarian Jackson, look for him to go to Gabe.
Snap here on 2nd down. Quick pass out, caught by Hill for Millard South. He's able to shed one tackler, but then gets tripped up and falls down shy of the 40-yard line. Short gain on 2nd down, but it brings up a 3rd and manageable on the 39.
Yeah, good play there. Good play call there to kind of get back either even with the chains or head of the chains. Now it's here 3rd and manageable, 3rd and realistic, like we like to call it. Now you just got to get in where you fit in. Now you got to be disciplined on defense. And the one thing that's different with Westside's defense versus the last 2 years, really, really heavy 2nd and 3rd level. So they're able to match up with this Millard South scoring attack pretty easily.
That was Amir Hill's 37th catch of the season as they send a man in motion from left to right. Now Tamala will look back to the bench. That was Gabriel Pruka, who they sent in motion. Now Pruka will line up to the right hip of Tamala. And before this snap on 3rd down, we have a Millard South timeout called by Ty Wisdom with 10:34 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Nick, right there, you saw a little interesting little tidbit there from Millard South. They put Chase Lofton way out there on the numbers, and without hesitation, Omaha Westside got Kenyon Cotton, who, if you don't remember the last name, Cotton name is just obviously supremely fast in the track and field in high school. Kenyon is obviously very, very fast, matches up well. Like I said, these two teams know each other. They either play 7-on-7 with each other or against each other. They grew up with each other in some right around, like essentially across the city lines or school lines. And so there is no fair dodge, and there isn't going to be an intimidation factor. And it's really, really interesting that Millard South burned that timeout so early, considering the way that they run their offense. They put a lot on Jet Tamala to check in and out of plays. It's interesting. We always talk about timeouts, and it's already rearing his head in this first series.
3rd down and 4 out of the Millard South timeout. 10.5 to go in the opening quarter. Tamala in the shotgun. Pruka to his right. 3 wide outs to the far side. That's the direction that Tamala's looking, but watch out from behind. He gets taken down for a sack. As now Omaha Westside, they got to be careful. Number 23 for the Westside Warriors, that's John Paul Ryan, the junior linebacker, came in from Tamala's backside and hit him down for a sack. He kind of stared in the face of Tamala and flexed his muscles. That's something that if the referees will try to get a handle of this game early on, that's something that probably could have warranted a flag.
Yeah, it could have, but I think that they know the background in these two games, and they're going to let him play with as long as it's not egregious. Look, John Paul Ryan is listed as a linebacker. He's more of a defensive back hybrid. They're using speed and physicality. Good blitz off the corner there to try to confuse Jet Tamala in that first series.
Fair catch signaled for by Keenan Cotton at the 31-yard line, and that is where Omaha Westside will take over after they force a 3-and-out on the opening drive of Millard South's offense. And that's our first look at Braylon Warren, the sophomore quarterback, 139 completions on the year for 2,000 yards, 30 touchdowns to just 6 INTs.
Yeah, look, he's came right in, essentially, not playing any varsity football except for kind of mop-up duty, and hit the ground running. He's a smooth character. If you know him, I know him personally. Very humble kid, works very hard, loves the game of football, and has gotten extremely bigger and stronger, and you can see it with his efficiency as far as his completion percentage. So when you look at him, just a little bit over 2,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, but he's completing 70% of his passes. So it's very, very efficient offense. And for a young guy to step in and to shoulder the weight of the 2-time defending state champion Omaha Westside, I think he's passed with flying colors. One thing also, Nick, I don't want to cut you off, is the one thing about Jet Tamala that's kind of out there. Doesn't do very well against mixed coverages, and then you saw a blitz coming off the backside. The reason why I say that's very, very important, because his outlet, Gabe Pruchett, was right wide open when the blitz. Now, I don't know if he missed getting the cat blitz off the side there from John Paul Ryan, but he was wide open. So that's what maybe Millard South is looking at. Look, I mean, high school football has really changed. When you look down there, you just don't have iPads. You have a full-fledged big screen TV, and they're able to get real-time. It's kind of, essentially this is like a small college program. And this is what happens when you have, obviously the families are invested, the city's invested, the school system's invested. You're able to actually teach these kids right on the spot to try to alleviate any more missed blitz pickups led to sacks.
The visual piece of it, the visual learning ability in real time, like you mentioned, is truly incredible. A couple of guys we're in a media timeout on the field, so a couple of guys as they show Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola on the big screen, but a couple of the guys to certainly watch here on the West Side offensive side of the ball. Eli Johnson's one of his favorite targets. Mo Purify is one of his favorite targets. I mean, there's a lot of weapons. Despite how much they graduated last year, there's a lot of weapons here. As now Jenkins immediately gets taken down in the backfield by that powerful defensive line of Millard South, and the first down carry goes for a loss of 2.
Yeah, I mean, that was a quick they went right back to action. This offense goes and starts and stops with Tay Jenkins. But Omaha Westside is very cool, calm, and collected. They feel like they're playing with house money because they were able to get out of that first series 3 and out. So now they're just trying to get a couple first downs, try to establish their dominance. Now it's up to Millard South to man up and stop them right here.
Toss left side as Jenkins finds a little bit of hole and a little bit of running room. Might have gotten 8 yards or so up across the 35-yard line to the 36. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4. The initial tackle for loss was by Braden Kiger.
Right.
That time, though, it was number 9, Amarion Jackson, in on the stop.
Yeah, Amarion Jackson obviously was the 2 years in a row. He's the best receiver in the state of Nebraska, and I imagine next year will be the 3. But he started to play a little bit of defense, which I think he'll be even better at the next level in college. Great physical tackle against a big-time running back there.
Snap on 3rd down, running for his life, Braylon Warren. He gets hit and dropped. It's another sack on 3rd down and 4. Millard South answers the call after Omaha Westside forces a 3 and out. Millard South says we can do that too, and Westside's going to have to punt this one away.
That defensive line of Millard South was really, really good last year, and they had some young guys, and they had obviously seniors last year. Then they had some sophomores that were coming up. Remember, we saw them against Gretna. When you look at their overall defensive stats for the year, it kind of jumped off the page. 155 tackles for loss. I thought it was a joke. And then not a joke, but then they had 35 sacks. That's a lot for high school. It was on display right there. And it's a battle of wills. This is going to be a tighter game than initially thought.
It's a low line drive kick. They're going to get everybody out of the way. It takes a friendly Millard South bounce back towards the north end zone here at Memorial Stadium and down at the 38-yard line. So another crack at it here for Jet Tamala and this Millard South offense. They only got a chance to throw it one time last drive after Tamala was sacked on 3rd down. So currently Tamala's stats 1 of 1 through the air for just 4 yards on that one pass completion to Amir Hill. And they'll come out in the pistol formation, 2 wideouts to the near side, Chase Lofton, the tight end, as they send Amir Hill in motion from right to left. And now they'll take the snap on 1st down, hand it off right downhill. Goes the running back Gabriel Pruka for about a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, look, this is a feeling out process. This is a heavyweight fight. 2 teams that know each other, respect each other, but don't like each other too much. So nobody's going to give an inch. And so you got Gabe Pruka getting up there and trying to just get something positive, get your composure. And now you're going to see it within the next 2 series or next 2 plays, Millard South try to stretch this Omaha Westside defense.
7:28 to go in the first quarter, still scoreless here. Second offensive possession for Millard South. Quick pass out far side, caught by Jackson near the first down marker. It was fumbled out of bounds. I think they're going to say that he completed the process of the catch. Now, we do have instant replay here in the state championship games. We had one, a touchdown that was reviewed earlier in Class D1 action. But it looks like they're going to say, for the time being, that it was a catch and a fumble. And we'll see if the instant replay booth, who's directly to our right here, but they got the blinds closed so we can't see in. Yeah. We'll see if they decide to look this one over here in just a moment.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that they're not in. Also, Nick, where they would place that ball, but nevertheless.
Yeah, on 3rd down, a toss right side to Amir Hill. He's stopped for a loss. And it will be 4th down and medium coming up for Millard South from their own 44-yard line.
That's championship composure there by Omaha Westside defense. Look, they're going to just play the next play. Obviously, the coach, for us, we thought it was going to be at least reviewed. But ultimately, if I'm Millard South, I'm not running outside to Christian Jones and another guy. He's a junior, sneaky good. He will be a power 4 guy. Quentin Warren, 6'2", 220-pound outside linebacker. they are condensing and setting the edge like no other against this Millard South offense.
So on fourth down, they'll have to punt this one away. It's a short kick. Will take a very friendly Millard South bounce, but fielded on the hop by the return man and cleaned up by the Millard South coverage guys at the 21-yard line. A very smart play by the return man on that one. I believe that is Keenan Cotton, who was on the return, fielded off the 2-hop because he recognized that it was going to go for a while and inside that 10-yard line and even inside the 5 potentially.
Yeah, it's 2 well-coached teams. You got to think also this is something that they've practiced, they've talked about, they've coached, they've repped, and you continue to do it all the way to this late in the season. And then also those type of returns sometimes lead to big returns. So it's also really, really good coverage by Millard South.
So Westside will crank things out 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. Trips out to the left side, and we have a penalty marker. False start going to be called on the left tackle for the Omaha Westside Warriors. I believe that was number 66, Carson Roberts, the sophomore left tackle, who may have jumped a little, or excuse me, that's number 65, rather, Owen James.
Yeah, it was either Owen James or big number 74, Ahmad Rustamov, 6 foot, 220-pound guard. What really, really kind of got him a little bit jumpy, Nick, it was a little bit of a shift by that defensive line. They looked like they were in a shift, and they didn't. So be aware of that, because maybe the Westside coaches will try to get that called against that defense of Millard South.
4 down linemen for the Patriots here on first down. They hand it off to Tate Jenkins. He gets just a couple of yards, if that, up across the line of scrimmage. Tackle made on the play there by Daxton Williams, the junior linebacker who stands 5'11", 210.
Yeah, really, really good job of keeping his pad square, coming up and striking the Westside Warrior running back. He leads the tackle, would lead the teams in tackles, 68 tackles, but more importantly, Nick, 13 tackles for loss. That means he's getting downhill and making good, solid tackles.
Brings up 2nd and 13, Warren to pass knocked out of the hands. I should just say it was dropped by Keenan Cotton. It probably is one that he would like to have back because it should have been caught. It was a well-thrown ball on just a simple flood concept, and it brings up 3rd down and 13.
Yeah, look, some of the pass concepts that you see out here on these 2 well-coached high school teams we see on Saturdays and even on Sundays, it's a flood concept with 3 different levels. They had a wide-open guy to kind of get back ahead of the chains, have a 3rd and more than manageable. Right now, it's kind of really, really conservative probably for this Westside offense. Kick the ball and try to play defense.
3rd down and 13 here. Trips out to the far side as Millard South shows pressure from number 5, Tegan Urban, one of the leading tacklers. Now he backs off, back to passes. Warren gets pressured, escapes 1 sack, and now dives forward, spun around, and taken down well short of the first down marker. He managed to get 3 yards on the scramble for his life.
Yep.
But it's still going to bring up 4th down and 10, and Millard South going to get the football back.
Yeah, Westside is doing a decent job of, blocking and obviously picking up their pressure. Obviously a really, really well-coached team and a really, really good defense they're going against, but nobody's open. So the 2nd and 3rd level of Millard South is really, really matching up well against his Omaha Westside passing attack. If I would to give advice to that offensive staff, I would try to get some crossing routes. I want those guys to start moving. I want to try to get Keenan Cotton and Bryson Williams and all those guys catch the ball and let them turn up and get some yards after catch.
Here's the punt on 4th down. Another low line drive kick fielded cleanly by Amarion Jackson. He's able to make 2 guys miss, tries to reverse field, still dragging tacklers, still on his feet, and now shoved down right around midfield. He got on Westside's side of the 50-yard line and tackled at the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 coming up with 4:56 to go. We're still scoreless here in the first quarter in the Class A title game.
Yeah, really good job there by Marion Jackson getting what he could get, but then also look how strong he is. He's 6'2", about 195, 200 pounds, fast, strong. Really good job. We saw him actually last year against Lincoln East catch a punt like that off the bounce and essentially won the game, because the next play he went 50 yards and essentially blew the game wide open. But also a really good job, a tackle there by Burke Brown. Burke Brown, the youngest son of Chris Brown. Chris Brown, obviously probably, if not the greatest kicker in Nebraska history, easily one of the top 3. Another kid coming through Westside playing good football.
Let's go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman back with you from Memorial Stadium. It's the Class A state championship game, still knotted up at zeros between Westside and Millard South. 4:56 to play in the first quarter. Jet Tamala and the Patriots offense back out there after the Patriots defense forced a punt. Play action, taking a shot downfield to Amarion Jackson, and that will be a penalty marker. Good call there as they had his hands around the waist of Amarion Jackson as that pass flew over his head. And Millard South will move 15 yards closer.
Yeah, what do we always say? When you're from 40 to 40, you got to worry about taking a shot. And, Millard South was just itching to take one. And really, it was actually good coverage by number 13, Joe Simon. Maybe panicked a little bit and saw it because there was no safety help on the skinny post right there. It wasn't like he was beat by a step or two.
Yeah.
Just tried to finish the play, maybe a step or two too early. Pass interference, good call, good aggressive play. But now Millard South is kind of, I wouldn't say they're starting to, churn out yards, but now they're in a position in the field that they're going to think about, okay, that we got to get at least 3 points and go zone. And don't be surprised, Nick. I watched them a couple times. They'll keep taking shots.
Yeah.
They'll play. They're like like Loyola Marymount back in the day. Keep shooting threes, playing the analytical game. You can do that. And it's rather easy when you have about 5 power 4 guys out there that you can throw to. And then also, Nick, they've just moved Chase Lofton from the X receiver to the slot. Look for them to go to him really quick.
Empty shotgun set, Tamala back to pass. They're running Lofton on the wheel. They throw it on the underneath route. It's caught on first down and pushed out of bounds is the receiver number 3 for the Millard South Patriots. That's Deshaun Prince, the junior wide receiver.
Yeah, he's came over from Omaha Central, and I think he has, Nebraska's really looking at him. And I know when Mickey Joseph was here, they were really, really impressed with him as a ninth grader. A really, really good basketball player, but then also a really, really good athlete on the football field, two-way player. And what did Millard South do? They took a shot, they came back, crossing routes, what they call mesh now. Essentially, you're trying to get the defenders to run into each other, allowing the drag route to turn up the sideline. But now, as much as they got a pass interference against Westside, looks like Millard South was a little too jumpy to start that third down play or second down play.
It was second down and 2. They initially handed it off to the running back or to a guy that was lined up at running back, Amir Hill, but instead they blew it dead. False start on the Patriots. That makes it second down and 7. The ball is going to be placed on the 31-yard line of Omaha Westside. Still scoreless in this one, just under 4.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Shotgun set. They'll motion Lofton from right to left. Now he's isolated at the bottom. Fake the handoff, quick pass out to Lofton, and he's able to get just a couple of yards up to the 26, 25-yard line before he's taken down by number 13, Joseph Simon. A good job by the undersized Simon making a tackle.
Yeah, good pitch and catch, good physical tackle there by Simon, and that play right there was purely to get Lofton some touches and get him going there.
They'll turn, hand it off on third down. Here is Pruka, goes nowhere on third down and short. He is stopped for a loss of 1. He needed just 1 yard on 3rd and 1, and he lost 1 to bring up 4th down and 2. But it looks like Millard South is going to keep the offense on the field and go for it on 4th and short.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you look at 0-0, you feel like your defense is playing well, right? Everything should go into your mind set when you're deciding to go for it in 4th down in a championship type of game. Your defense is playing well. You feel like you can get it. Whenever they seem like they need a play, they're going to go to number 8. We'll see what happens. 4th
down and 2. They turn, hand it off. Pruka gets met by a brick wall of Omaha Westside defenders and goes nowhere. Christian Jones in on the stop, as well as number 13, Joseph Simon. And the Warriors get another stop on defense, and they'll take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, I don't know Millard South kicking situation. We don't know this. This isn't like college or the pros where you think, okay, this is a guaranteed,
it's a gimme.
3 points. But I'm a big believer in championship type of games. You got to get points or at least attempt to get points. And yes, it's fine because your defense is playing well, but you're playing against a 2-time defending state champion. And the tighter the game is, the more calmer Westside plays. It's a great call if you make it. It's a mistake if you don't.
1st and 10 now as Westside takes over. Play action, pass out left side, caught, but immediately dropped after a 2-yard gain on the completion to Keenan Cotton. And that brings up 2nd down and 8. And I'll say this, Jay, just to mention, I was surprised to see the run get called on 4th and 2. You have so many players and athletes on the perimeter. There's routes, there's concepts that you can run to where maybe you get them out in space
Yep.
and make it an easy pitch and catch for Tamala.
You got 6'6" Chase Lofton, and you got 6'3" essentially Marion Jackson. Both of them physical and strong. I think I'm going there.
Quick pass out far side to the intended receiver, number 6, Tay Jenkins, is caught, had nice perimeter blocking downfield. It's going to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, and this is Westside. They're look at the chaos. Essentially, they are very calm. They got championship pedigree. I mean, when you win this many games in a row, and essentially, like you said, they've been here 5 years in a row and 4 times essentially state champion. They know how to win ugly. They know how to blow you out. And right now, they're trying to systematically wear down this Millard South team. They feel like the closer the game is, the more panic sets in on Millard South. But I'm going to tell you one thing about Millard South.
Well, it was a handoff to Tay Jenkins, tackled on the play by Elijah Melessa. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Elijah Melessa, Adam Pugh comes in there. He has 13 tackles for loss. And then you talk about Braden Kiger, Harper Rutan, Solomon Baker. This is probably a deeper defensive line than even that they had last year, because their defensive line last year was really, really star-studded.
Once again, Tay Jenkins on the handoff, going nowhere, as number 87, Owen Williams, that time it appeared.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. 3rd down and 11 coming up for Westside. We are under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, still scoreless at Memorial Stadium.
The depth of Millard South is showing is obviously something that they are able to hang their hats on, where you're able to rotate 8 defensive linemen, so that means groups of 4. So the guy that comes in, that's actually their pass rusher, is number 32, Aiden Marshall. He's a running back, but he's 5'10", 175. They're trying to get speed on that field to try to affect the quarterback, this young sophomore quarterback, and Braylon Warren.
So Braylon Warren takes the snap on 3rd down. The Patriots send 3, pass out far side. It goes out of bounds, and I think Damon Benning and the Westside coaches wanted a flag, but that was not anywhere close to the vicinity of the intended receiver, and that brings up 4th down and 11.
Yeah, they got Westside speeding up a little bit when they looked like they had a little bit of momentum with that swing pass / screen to Tay Jenkins, but ultimately they have to punt it again. And so there's no harm, no foul as far as Millard South going for it on 4th down. Now they get the ball back, and you know what, Nick? Every time you punt to Marion Jackson, there is pressure on your punt team to not only kick it with the right trajectory and velocity, but to cover because he is dangerous back there.
So here's the punt, as it's another low line drive. We'll take a bounce directly 90 degrees towards the sideline, and it'll be down at the 20-yard line. So that is where Millard South will take over with 1:13 to go in the first quarter. Just a well-played football game, especially defensively, Jay. So far through, almost 12 minutes of game time, just a really well-played football game.
This is indicative of what we hope and what it usually is when Nebraska plays Iowa or Nebraska plays Wisconsin. This is a straight-up street fight. These are 2 teams that, again, know each other, respect each other, but don't like each other. And so they're not going to give an inch. And so whoever, breaks, or is able to break the other team's will first, and whoever is able to counterpunch, make adjustments and all that will win. But ultimately right here, that was a pretty good first quarter so far as running, blocking, and tackling. 1st and
10 is – they'll throw a tunnel screen here to Amir Hill. Hill gets across the 25-yard line and down at the 27-yard line.
Nick, right when, we were watching any other high school game out there, Amir Hill would be gone, right? He'd be striking up the bend. But the speed and the effort out of the stack and guys just straining to get to the football on both teams is a great attribute to have for these young guys to have out here on the big stage.
2nd down and 3 coming up from the 27-yard line of Millard South, as they have pistol formation, 2 wideouts each side. Amir Hill in the slot on the near side. They turn, hand it off. Pruka bounces out right side, has a first down, but a great tackle from behind by number 22 for the Omaha Westside defense. That's Luke Starlin, the senior linebacker, 6'1", 195 pounds. But Millard South still gets a first down across the 30 at the 31-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10. And quickly back to the line, Millard South goes. Pruka will be lined up in the pistol once again behind Jet Tamala. 2 wideouts each side stacked on top of each other, as it's Lofton and Hill on the bottom. Now they're going to motion and switch it up. Trips to the bottom on the left side of the field.
You might as well just go to the second quarter.
And it appears that they will allow the time to expire. So after 1 quarter of play, your score, the same exact that it was when we started. 0-0 between Westside and Millard South here in the Class A state championship game. We'll come back in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
In today's digital landscape, the security of your business is non-negotiable. That's why you need better cybersecurity solutions. At Hamilton, we make it our business to protect your network, data, and digital assets with the latest in cybersecurity technology. Our dedicated team of experts has the technology in place to protect what matters most to you and your business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with better cybersecurity protection. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium. It's the Class A state championship game as we enter the second quarter of play. Game 3 of the day, game 3 of the 6 state championship games that we will have on the ticket tomorrow. It's Class C2, Class C1, and then Class B will round us out at the same time. But here we are entering second quarter, still 0-0 between the Westside Warriors and the Millard South Patriots. Jay, Millard South on offense, they'll have 1st and 10 here. You were talking about it during the break. They probably could have ran a play there. It's kind of puzzling why they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's clock management, it's game management. We talked about the early timeout going for it on 4th down. But then also when you have 20-plus seconds left into the first quarter, when you started to get your kind of first truly earned first down, not by penalty. You want to keep that momentum going. And here's what's going to be the big adjustment or the interesting fact moving forward. How often do they get the ball to Chase Lofton and Marion Jackson? And you have to do it pretty quick because Westside has a pretty good beat on what they're doing. Their formations, they're lining up in 5 wides and stuff like that. So now you're not giving them a threat of the run. So ultimately, you're going to have to find different ways to get your 2-star players on offense the ball.
Well, here's the snap back to Tamala, looking right side. The pass is hauled in by Deshaun Prince. He wasn't even looking at it initially, and then as soon as he kind of peeked back, Tamala had already thrown it. It was almost like he was expecting Prince to come back, but he kept on running. He contorted his body.
Yeah, that might be a reviewable one, but let's see what happens.
He contorted his body and was able to haul it in right at midfield at the 50-yard line. 2 wideouts to the far side. They snap it before a review can come in. A throw down the middle of the field. A wide open. Marion Jackson is hauled in near the 10-yard line, and here comes that Millard South offense.
Yeah, look, Nick, it was just a matter of time. I just said it. How often are you going to get the ball to Chase Lofton and Marion Jackson? A little bit of tempo here where I think you're taking the guesswork out and try to see if they can get a quick touchdown here.
Lofton in motion. He'll line up on the left side of that offensive line, and now Tamala will slow things down and take a peek towards Ty Wisdom on the near sideline, the head coach for Millard South. Now changing the play, 11:21 to go in the second quarter. Millard South trying to strike first in the Class A title game. 3 wideouts near side, 1 to the top. That's Chase Lofton on, I believe, is that Christian Jones lined up on Lofton? No, it's not. That is now we're going to have a Ty Wisdom timeout charged to Millard South. So that is number – I can't see a number on him.
It was
number 3, Eli Johnson, 6'4" on 6'6". That's where I was looking for a mismatch because it looked like they were trying to isolate Chase Lofton by himself on one side of the field and obviously had when you're Chase Lofton at 6'6", you're going to have a lot of times a shorter defensive back on.
Yeah, and he has good leaping ability, and I think 3 of his touchdowns of the games I've watched have came on the kind of essentially Randy Moss plays. Just throw it up there and let him get it. But also, you look, the tempo has obviously led to 2 big chunk plays, right? Where the route combination, they came out in 4 wides to one side, and they kind of ran a flare. So essentially, they just took the running back and put him out there in the flat, and then they ran a little bit of a wheel route. We call it a deep trail wheel, and the defender from Westside didn't play with depth. They hit a big play there to Deshaun Prince, and then they came right back to the other side, essentially on a switch route, which led to a skinny post to Marion Jackson. But the tempo was faster. It was like they had these 2 plays coming out of that quarter change, and you should have a third play as that's going because from right now, This is when this Millard South offense has looked the best. No thinking, just going right at it. Use your athletic ability.
Snap back, Millard South play action. Tamala dumps it down low, and that will be a touchdown for the Millard South Patriots, as that is number 88, Dallas Geis, the junior tight end, 6'4", puts the Patriots on the board, and they lead it 6-0.
Yeah, really good play call there. This kind of looked like a Dana Holgerson play right there, right? You had speed motion with Chase Lofton. And I'm going to tell you from a defense perspective, the faster the motion is and who's doing the motion can get your attention. Speed motion, Chase Lofton to the left side, kind of reverse pivot to the flat route. Essentially, they just switched to 2 tight ends there, wide open. Great play call, great execution.
So that is Dallas Gaius's second touchdown of the season.
Yep.
The point after is no good. So with 11:02 to go in the second quarter, we stay at 6-0.
Yeah, Nick, I mean, that's what you like there if you're Millard South. You kind of got your, got it out of your system. We hit a couple of big strikes. And then you got to play with tempo. You got your main guys to get going, and that's what you're going to have to do all game long. If I'm a play caller for Millard South, then obviously you got to expect Westside to get something going. But if they don't, you can kind of pick and choose your spots. But ultimately, every single drive, I'm thinking 23, I'm thinking 9, I'm thinking 3, and that's how 88 Geis gets open for a second touchdown of the year, because all the eyes are on Chase Lofton. And I said it before, and this is coming from I've made mistakes doing this as a defender. When you see 6'6" in a 5-star recruit or 4-star recruit go in motion, you think, okay, it's going to him. A great play call, reverse pivot. And I wonder if they put that in just for that. That's a great red zone look. That is a college type of concept in a play call. So what you do when you get this type of talent, you challenge them by running college concepts, and that's a really, really good concept there, and it's even better execution. 6-0 lead, and so as slow as that first quarter was, it's obviously sped up here in this first possession here by Millard South, and only 58 seconds off the scoreboard.
So that drive took 5 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 11 seconds off the game clock, and Millard South leads at 6-0 after the extra point was no good.
Also, Nick, you talk about Jet Tamala, right? And, he started out real slow, got sacked. He probably should have got the ball out of his hand. But no, listen, the one thing he did was he just said, I'm going to step my game up. He's 8 for 8 for 99 yards. Obviously, he's hit Amarion Jackson for 2 big ones. But listen, 8 for 8 gives the coach a lot of confidence, no matter if it's short, medium, or long as far as the passing route and the combinations. When your quarterback's starting out hot like that.
So here's the kickoff. It's going to be a short kick, fielded and fair catch signaled for by number 1, Titan Glassman, around the 30-yard line, and that's where Omaha Westside will set up shop with 11:02 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think this is big to see what type of offensive, play calling and efficiency that Westside can get going. It's really, really a struggle right now for them to get Tate Jenkins going. He has 5 carries for 6 yards. They're really keying on him. And then when they're able to get some pass protection, nobody's open for Braylon Warren. So now it's really going to come down to how much they can mix up. Maybe go to a play or a concept that you haven't used before, and you could put stuff in on the sideline, mesh routes, crossing routes, or maybe move the pocket here.
Shotgun snap. They'll fake the handoff. Warren will keep it and then get sandwiched by a couple of Millard South defenders after a short gain of 3 yards up to the 32-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 7. Right. 10:50 to go in the second quarter, 6-0 Millard South.
Yeah, a good 3-yard gain there. Everybody's, keying on Tate Jenkins. He kept it, got up there, got 3 yards. Good strike there, though, by Tegan Urban. To come up and make a big hit there on Braylon Warren.
2nd down and 7 coming up from their own 32-yard line. Snap back, Warren back to pass, quick dump off into the flat. Here's Tate Jenkins. Great tackle by number 3, Deshaun Prince, as he's able to tackle him down by the right ankle, just a couple of yards past the line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line, prevent a first down, and then maybe some. Brings up 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, good play call there. You had what you wanted there. Quick pass out there in the flat there to Tate Jenkins. Good block out there, and then an even better tackle there by Deshaun Prince, because he saved pretty much a big explosive play right there.
3rd down and 4, reverse handoff going back the left side. Here is Keenan Cotton with it, and he bursts up the seam for a first down all the way across the 45-yard line to the 46. And that'll move the chains for the Omaha Westside offense.
Now you've seen what the Westside offensive coaches have thought about doing is getting this defense moving side to side. You can't beat these guys just being static, right? So you get them thinking that they're so aggressive, you're going to the right, and they can't run it like almost a counter trap a la the Chiefs in the playoffs when Eric Bieniemy was the head coach or was the offense coordinator.
Snap back on first down. Warren steps up and then gets taken down as he tried to climb the pocket. He was taken down by a couple of Millard South Patriots. I believe number 85, Solomon Baker, was the first one in on the stop, but then got some help from his other defensive linemen as well.
Yeah, he was trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to come down to just recognizing when Millard South is in man-to-man, and that's when you try – I call it a gut quarterback delayed sneak, and you can get some big yards that way, but you got to be efficient in it as far as Braylon Warren.
Here's the handoff. Tate Jenkins almost had some running room, but a nice tackle on the perimeter there by Amarion Jackson as it takes him down after a short gain of a few. It brings up 3rd down and 7. Millard South continuing to keep Omaha Westside, Jay, in these 3rd and mediums to 3rd and longs. Yeah. And the longer that and the more that this happens, the less likely that Westside's going to be able to probably get some of these.
Yeah, Westside is not an explosive offense, kind of like Millard South, or not like Millard South. But I'm going to tell you one thing. They are making some game-saving and tackles to get these guys behind the chains, and now this pass rush is starting to collapse against this Westside offense.
Braylon Warren goes down for a sack on 3rd down. It makes it 4th down and 15. Number 57 for Millard South on the play. That's Adam Pugh, the senior defensive tackle. Big fella, 6'5", 250, burst through the middle there and took down the sophomore quarterback.
The one thing that I'm telling Westside if I'm a coach on Westside, I'm saying, listen, we're right there to blow this game open. You got to think the screen pass to Tate Jenkins. Prince had to make the essentially explosive tackle.
Yeah.
Then the next play, Braylon Warren. Then you had Urban make that tackle. Tate Jenkins again. And then Amarion Jackson comes from center field to make essentially a shoestring tackle to stop him essentially from scoring. Mm-hmm. And then you turn around, Millard South capitalizes with their really, really aggressive defensive front and sacks the quarterback. So sometimes when you're not having success that you want, you have to also look for the little battles that you've won, because you have to expect, okay, we got to do a better job. We've seen Matt Rule say this about the running backs. We got to make somebody miss. We're blocking well on the perimeter. We're blocking well in the run game. And so we got to get like you said, we got to get out of this 3rd and 6+. Mm-hmm. So how do we do that? We just got to make that extra play without exposing ourselves to a fumble, and you'll be right on schedule.
Millard South takes over 1st and 10 on their own 23-yard line. They'll hand it off. Here's Amir Hill. Bounces out right side and tripped up for a moment. Stays on his feet across the 25. Spins around, still on his feet, and he gets a couple of yards. All of that for just a couple of yards with a little extracurricular just for fun. And while we have a pause in the action, let's take a 10-second break for station identification.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
7:25 to go in the second quarter. Millard South leads 6-0 over the Omaha Westside Warriors. They'll take out of after the first down play, 2nd down and 7. Ball's on the 26-yard line of Millard South. 2 wideouts each side. Amir Hill lined up in the backfield. More of a speedy option than maybe Gabe Pruka is, but in shotgun formation, Jet Tamala with Hill to his left. Pass out left side. It's way over the head of Deshaun Prince. Falls incomplete.
Yeah, a little bit of a slot blitz there by Omaha Westside. They want to speed Tamala up. They don't want him to be comfortable. They want him to play fast or in a hurry and not fast. And so a really good job of Westside keeping Millard South in 3rd and long. Now it's going to come down to who can make a play to extend this drive for Millard South.
3rd down and 7 with 7 minutes and 8 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Millard South with the football and a 6-point lead. They'll have 2 wideouts on the near side. That's Chase Lofton and Deshaun Prince, while Amarion Jackson is all by himself at the top, standing on the Big Ten logo on the 25-yard line. The snap back to Tamala. He's looking, surveying, pressure up the middle, escapes the pocket, running to his left side, getting traced down, now reverses field, spun around, still on his feet. He chucks it downfield, intended for the receiver. Is it hauled in? It is not. It's dropped as it was intended for Dallas Gaius down on the far side. It was dropped as Gaius was in one-on-one coverage. Tamala showed off his arm strength, but it's still a 4th and 7 coming up for the Millard South offense.
Yeah, and Nick, I would have probably preferred him throw out of bounds, because when you're throwing across your body deep down the sideline, it most likely would have been an interception. Almost was a great catch there by Dallas Gaius. And even if it was an interception, it's equivalent, like you always tell me, to a punt. But ultimately, I like the good vibes, right? I like making the smart plays. Now, this is the first time we've seen Westside essentially being able to possibly get the ball and get closer to the 50-yard line. Let's see if they try to get the ball to Purify or Cotton on to try to get him on a go route or to strike early to get the game back to 6-6.
It was a very high and short punt, but fortunately for the Patriots, it took a friendly hop inside the 40-yard line and down at the Omaha Westside 37, and that is where Omaha Westside comes back out.
Nick, let me ask you this. It seems like every third down they're switching Amarion Jackson to one side, Deshaun Prince from one side, and it really is kind of like muddying up the rhythm. For you, obviously offensive coordinator extraordinaire in Madden.
Yep.
Do you like that? Because it seems like that's where they're running into trouble. I think if they just kept the same rhythm, they'd be just fine.
I 100% agree. I think there's multiple concepts that you can run to where maybe you confuse some defenses. As Tay Jenkins across midfield and has nothing but green space, he will score. Omaha Westside in one play ties it up on the 63-yard touchdown run by Tay Jenkins. That's his 22nd of the season, and we're all knotted up at 6.
Like I say, Nick, they're back. What did I keep telling you when you get over there on the sideline? Listen, we're right there. All we have to do is make one guy miss. We're blocking good. Where did I say? Up the middle. Give it to Tay Jenkins, and you look for him only being 5'8", 175. He runs with his behind his pad. So don't think that he can't carry the ball 30, 40 times in the state championship.
The point after is up, and it is good. 6:43 to go in the second quarter. It's 7-6 Westside here in the Class A title game. We'll step aside, come right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium. Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman with you. Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, pushing all the buttons, making sure we stay connected. Appreciate Harrison out there. Jay, is it foggy out here?
Yeah, it just came in just essentially in the
last
break.
I thought my window was fogging up, but here we are.
We aren't giving that much hot air, but Nick, as we get this game starts to get tighter and tighter, Millard South has one timeout left.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time left in the second quarter. This is a straight up heavyweight fight. Two teams, 8 minutes and 28 seconds for Millard South, 8 minutes and 50 seconds for Omaha Westside. Momentum is starting to shift over there to the west side.
And Amarion Jackson on the return. He's slow to get up after he was hit hard by number 13, Joseph Simon. We've seen Simon come in and make some really good tackles. Simon stands not super tall, 5'11", 180 pounds, but he made a really nice tackle on Chase Lofton earlier, and this time on Amarion Jackson, who comes off limping.
Yeah, I mean, you hope he's back because obviously Amarion Jackson has been obviously the bright spot on offense for Millard South, but also when you're thinking about number 13, Simon, he plays both ways. He plays corner. He is not afraid to get out there and compete. He's an excellent tackler, and I mentioned this before. Unlike the years prior, where I felt like the first and second level of Westside defense was excellent, I think they're more second and third level oriented. That's why you have such good tacklers at all different positions.
Snap back to Tamala, quick pass out far side. It's hauled in, and guess who was right there to make the tackle on Gaius? It was Joseph Simon, the undersized man. Once again, Jay, I'm going to say it again, 5'11", 180 pounds, making the tackle on 6'4", 195.
Yeah, look, Omaha Westside is well coached. I mean, they know how to tackle. It doesn't matter how big you are. It's just about how violent you are when you come up and strike somebody. And Simon is just indicative of that. He is not backing down from anybody. To be a two-time champion and on pretty much 4 in a row, you got to be competitive.
Tamala looking right side, trying to thread the needle. Nope. Did he get it into Deshaun Prince? The pass was caught, but they're going to say he was out of bounds, incomplete. Deshaun Prince unable to haul it in, and it will bring up third down and medium.
Yeah, Tamala is showing you his arm strength. Being able to throw that from the left hash all the way out there to in between the number and the sideline on with accuracy and on time. just a little bit too outside. Good try there by Deshaun Prince. Let's see what Millard South does in adjustment. Obviously right now you're in 3rd and long or 3rd and manageable. Do you go to your ace in the hole in Pruka, or do you try to get it to Deshaun Prince, or better yet, do we start to highlight Chase Lofton? I like that you have a 6'6" guy, Nick, but being out here all alone, I'm not sure if that's the best use of him.
Tamala back to pass, looking around, scrambling, still looking. And Tamala just chucks it away. That should be intentional grounding because it did not get back to the line of scrimmage. He was out of the pocket, but it did not get back to the line of scrimmage. The officials should have a conversation as Westside's bench is yelling for it to happen, and there's the penalty marker. It's going to be intentional grounding. Bad decision by the junior quarterback, Jet Tamala.
You never want to just chuck it up there and look like a kid in the backyard, right? Whether you're, when we were looking at playing, you just throw it up there and pray. It looked like a la Brett Favre, right? Maybe that's where's number 4. Not only was it outside of the tackle box and it didn't, get to the starting point, but they had 2 or 3 guys illegal man downfield because they were trying to run a double jailbreak screen, and with him running away from the pass rush of Westside, they were 2, 3, 4 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. So either way, again, we talked about it last series, right?
Yeah.
Westside potentially starting to get the ball at or close to 50. Will they take a shot, or will they just lean on Tay Jenkins and see what they can do? Also, Nick, I don't mean to go too long. Westside gets the ball at the second half. When we talk about it all the time in high school, can you get a 2-for-1 here?
Joe Soria and number 55, Hudson Mead, were the 2 guys that were pressuring Tamala. Because that penalty occurred inside the 5, it's half the distance to the goal. Quick punt, line drive. It'll take a bounce at the 30-yard line. Very friendly Millard South bounce. Here's Keenan Cotton ready to go to work. Spin move inside the 30, still dragging defenders. There will be a penalty marker on the play, as you heard Jay Foreman. He believes it's a face mask. And
I've done that before.
For the time being, the Westside Warriors, how about this, are going to take over inside the Millard South 25-yard line. There's an injured Patriot struggling to get up. It looks like number 18 Gus Gadsden, as he's getting helped off under some help with the trainers. But the penalty markers at the 30-yard line. We'll see what the official call is, if it's a face mask per what Jay Foreman believes,
it wasn't.
or if it's going to be a hold.
No, it wasn't. It was Reed McIntyre, actually their leading tackler, number 11, with a block in the back, I think, right at the very end. The only reason I thought it was a face mask because Keenan Cotton is a little bit shorter, so I felt like, when you get gang tackled, I've done it before where you ripped at the face mask. Inadvertently, never on purpose, except for one player.
Okay.
But I think it was a block in the back.
Oh, it's an illegal blindside block on Omaha Westside. So that's what that call is going to be. Yeah. So that's going to be first down. But instead of getting the ball at the 25-yard line of Millard South, that penalty marker was on the 30, which means it's going to back it up 45. To the 40. Good math, 45-yard line.
Hey, I graduated.
I was just saying good math.
I mean, it was a long time ago. When I did math, we had to count rocks and add subtraction. We didn't have phones. Yes, we used fingers, and we looked up to the sky and prayed.
Was it the popsicle sticks?
Yes, we did. Okay. We did it all, Nick.
I know about that.
And I had the beads and stuff like that. Yeah. But nevertheless, we got it correct. But if I'm Westside, I'm a little bit discouraged by the block in the back or the defensive player block. But right now, I'm right on time trying to get 2-for-1 here before halftime.
1st and 10. They hand it off. Tay Jenkins, fumble on the play, recovered by the Patriots. Jenkins went right up the middle. It was poked away from behind, and now they're going to say Westside has it. It looked like it was all but white, all but white jerseys around that football. So I apologize, folks. It looks like Westside is somehow able to come away with it. That fumble, I am shocked with how Westside came away with
Great
that.
Strike there by
so the Patriots, they might watch this again for a clear recovery unless they hurry up and they get the snap off. Nice job by Westside. Tay Jenkins again as he breaks 2 tackles across the 30-yard line and the 26. Sometimes you know this, Jay, obviously. Clear recovery down on the turf, you're down. It should be whistled dead and it's poked out at the last moment. That's what it looked like happened on that fumble.
It did, and it was a really, really good hit by Eli Mitchell. But sometimes, Nick, when you come in there, this is the one thing that Matt Rule emphasizes, that when they do takeaway drills. Mm-hmm. So when it's a lot of people, you kind of slide into it like you're going into home base and try to get it. so you curl up on it versus if you try to get straight down on it, it can pop out. I think that might have happened if it wasn't Millard South football.
A nice pass from Braylon Warren to Eli Johnson. It's the first catch of the game for Eli Johnson. However, there is a penalty flag in the backfield all the way back at the 33-yard line, and players are starting to retreat back towards midfield.
Looked like a holding there, but obviously, for Westside, that was the first time you were able to have a clean pocket in rhythm. Good strike, good pitch and catch there from Warren to Eli Johnson. Now they're playing behind the chains now. So right now, everything's if I'm Westside, I think I got to settle down. If I'm Millard South, I said we really have to settle down. Yeah. We really had a stranglehold on this game. We have lost the momentum. We got our best player down there on offense, Amarion Jackson, trying to run. It looks like he has a ankle problem there, and hopefully he's able to either get it taped up or something. But Westside is on the move here, and they're not afraid to go back to Tay Jenkins as a young sophomore.
Play action, pass out near side, caught by Cotton on 1st and 20. Gets a 6-yard gain, maybe even a 7-yard gain up to the 29-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 13. We're sitting here, 4:18 to go until halftime. 7-6 is your score. Omaha Westside with the 1-point lead.
Nick, I'm telling you, I'm so impressed by both teams with the ability to make tackles against great athletes in the open field. They know exactly what they're doing. The angles are good. They're aggressive. Because Cotton almost looked like he was going to be able to break that one, but Urban came up and stopped him.
And here's Tay Jenkins on 2nd down, tackled right at the line of scrimmage. May have gotten a yard or so up to the 28-yard line. Tackle made on the play. Daxton Williams was in there, as well as number 54 for the Millard South Patriots. That's Eli Melissa.
Yeah, right now, if I'm Westside, I'm trying to bleed this clock right now. Okay, I got to get my best 3rd down play. If I'm trying to go for it on 4th down, like we always talk about it, I need my best 2 plays, so I need about 5 or 6 yards to be in 4th and manageable, or if I can get a 1st down or touchdown here on 3rd down. But ultimately, the clock is their friend.
3rd down and 12. The snapback, Warren, rolling to his right, gets pressured, steps up. He'll have to take off and run with it. Still shedding tacklers, now taken down inside the 25-yard line. He'll be well short of the 1st down marker that's placed at the 16-yard line. So now it looks like they're going to usher on their field goal unit and try a field goal. From the 22-yard line, it'll be about a 37-yard field goal attempt from the right leg of their kicker. 3 minutes exactly left in the quarter and in the first half. Sorry, Jay. The kicker here is going to be Everest Schlerzen. I probably butchered that name. I apologize. The field goal attempt is up, and it is good.
Nevertheless, it was right down the middle, and look, Westside might have a long history of really, really good kickers. Obviously, when you have Chris Brown at your access to be able to come and help them, they do a really good job, especially it was without hesitation for them to bring their kicker in and get points on the board. You got to think the last 2 times they've had the ball, they've scored 10 points. They've been able to get off the field, get great field position, take advantage of opportunities. They have full momentum. So now the pressure now is on Millard South without their star receiver, Amarion Jackson, to try to get another score before halftime. But ultimately, you also think without Jensen being in the game, with Portia a little bit, the running back, kind of the do-it-all guy, I think, is a little bit banged up. So now you got to think of first, I got to get Chase Lofton the ball, right? I got to try to scheme him open. But then Amir Hill, who has kind of been their slot receiver, their YZ receiver, whatever you want to call it, plays a little bit of running back. What do they do to try to get some rhythm? And one thing you have to worry about if I'm Millard South, especially with our defense back up in the second half, as far as our offense, there's a ton of time left. We're only down by 1 score. Don't try to get it back at once. Don't press. Don't compound any mistakes we made in the first half.
Yes, that was Everest Schlerzen on the kick, as he's able to boot this one, fielded by Deshaun Prince at the 5-yard line, trying to cut up field is Prince, and he just lunges forward across the 25 to the 27-yard line, and that is where Millard South takes over 1st and 10. Jet Tamala on the day, Jay, currently sitting 9 for 11, 103 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. And this is a Millard South offense that even at 10-6, and even if the score margin was wider, this is nothing for this offense.
Look, the Millard South offense reminds me of the time that the Houston Texans, led by Bill O'Brien, were up 28-0 against the Chiefs and ended up losing 42-28 or something. This is right in their wheelhouse. I mentioned Lofton. I mentioned Miller because he looks like he's in the backfield now. Now, obviously, we had Geis out there. He's at the top left. Let's not forget about Deshaun Prince. He made a huge catch. Let's see if he gets the ball.
Here's Tamala looking around, surveying, dumps it down low in the middle to Amir Hill, and that goes nowhere. A great tackle made on the play there by the Westside Warriors defense as everybody was covered downfield. Tamala decided just to get rid of it, and they lost a yard on that play. Brings up 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, it was a good job there by Omaha Westside's defense of sniffing out that screen, but even a better job of Tamala kind of staying alive and trying to get something. Mm-hmm. But also, it's something that we have. This is the second time, Nick, on those delayed screens. The offensive linemen are way downfield. Yeah. Omaha Westside's coaches need to make the rest aware of that.
Out of the pistol formation, hands off. Here's Pruka trying to shed defenders, unable to get a whole lot of space on that play. And now Damon Benning, the interim head coach today,
as fumble.
No, they're going to be called a timeout.
Oh, okay.
Damon Benning's going to call a timeout. That is Westside's first of the half.
They think it's a fumble.
With 1:47 on the game clock. We'll see what happens here as Pruka went down. They're showing the replay on the screen.
No.
And it doesn't look like there was a fumble there at all. So ahead of the third, exactly. Ahead of 3rd and 10, Damon Benning, if you missed it, Paul Lamoni, the usual head coach for Westside, is out today. He's in the hospital with an undisclosed medical emergency. And so 3rd down and 10 after Westside called their first timeout. 1:47 to play in the second quarter. We know it, right? You have weapons even without Amarion Jackson on offense. I mean, you got to think Chase Lofton or Deshaun Prince is the go-to guy.
Yeah, Chase Lofton, Deshaun Prince. You got Miller. You got Geis that's playing. I mean, Geis is eventually going to be a power 4 guy. 6'4", 200 pounds, has position flexibility. He plays tight end. He plays move tight end, H-back. He plays receiver. And so you have Deshaun Prince. You got plenty of options. The biggest thing is you got to just play within yourself. I think sometimes you can try to call the perfect play when you have too many weapons. We saw it when we watched earlier in the year, Florida State, Georgia Tech. Let's see what they come up with, because you won't get the ball back for about 20 or 30 minutes.
Here's 3rd and 10 from the 27-yard line. Snap back, Tamala looking, surveying, throwing across the middle, and it's out of the reach for Chase Lofton. But he was also covered by 3 Westside defenders, Keenan Cotton, Christian Jones, as well as number 11, Reed McIntyre, in the vicinity of the Chase Lofton target.
Yeah, I didn't mind the play call because you were trying to scheme Chase Lofton up to try to get him, and you threw it high. The catch radius of being 6'6" and 225 pounds and a phenomenal athlete, just a bit off target, and a really good job of Westside and their defense at the 2nd and 3rd level. Like I keep saying, having those kind of mix of strong safeties, small linebackers, and corners to be able to match up with those guys. And let's not forget, Keenan Cotton has not backed down from Chase Lofton, not one time. That lets you know he knows exactly who he is. He's competed against them, and in being out here in front of all these crowd, including Matt Rule and company, is not a big deal.
Fair catch signaled for at the 46-yard line, and now here, if you're Omaha Westside, you have 95 seconds to work with and 2 timeouts to go 54 yards to find the end zone and extend your 10-6 lead currently. So empty shotgun set, 2 wideouts to the near side, 3 to the far side, 3 to the shallow side of the field, the narrow side of the field. Now they'll motion a guy from left to right. Quick slant, caught, now dropped by Eli Johnson as the ball's still spinning on the turf, and it's going to be an incomplete pass, bringing up 2nd down.
Yeah, Eli Johnson is one of the favorite targets of Braylon Warren. And, look, he had the inside leverage against Deshaun Prince, and he just needs to catch it. It was a fast ball, low and inside. You got to come up with that to keep Westside not only on time and on target as far as being ahead of the chains, but also you want to keep that clock running. You do not want Millard South to get the ball back, even though they only have 1 timeout left. 2nd down and 10. Ball is on the 46-yard line. Warren back to pass, throwing on a wheel route intended for Cotton. Cotton had no clue where the pigskin was. They had one-on-one coverage with Cotton and the defender, and it was not a bad thrown ball by Braylon Warren. It just fell incomplete because Cotton didn't know where it was. Yeah, one time, as a receiver, when you're out there playing, and Cotton should know this as a defensive back, and obviously he's playing receiver right now, when you see Millard South coming with essentially a 0 blitz, that means they are blitzing. It was zero help down, deep in the defensive backfield, that anybody and everybody is an option to get open. They had a little bit of a switch route, wheel up the numbers. If he would have kept going, he had a good chance to catch it.
3rd down and 10, ball on the 46-yard line. Snap back to Warren, looking right side, taking a shot up the far sideline. Does Cotton come in with it? He does. Keenan Cotton with an incredible catch on the far sideline right in front of the Westside bench. Inside the 30-yard line, just shy of the 25 at the 26.
Look, you talk about you talk about Braylon Warren and obviously who he is and what he's able to do to come right off the bench from freshman football to step in here as a sophomore, drop it in the bucket, a dime up the sidelines. That's the reason why Iowa State, Kansas State, even Michigan. You got Tom Luganbill tweeting out his 7-on-7 tape, or just a tape that I've seen him throwing the football, the tight spiral, the ability to play under pressure. Now, I will tell you this. Damon Benning has every right to be upset. The 2 times that he asked for something to be reviewed, it was not reviewed without question. That play was reviewed. Now, obviously, if it wasn't a catch, he would probably be okay with it. But ultimately, it looks like it was called an incomplete pass. Maybe he had a foot or two.
There was a penalty marker on the play. There was an illegal formation on Omaha Westside. And so instead of 3rd and 10, it's now going to be 3rd and 15 all the way back at the 41-yard line of Omaha Westside. So that negates and nullifies the big pass completion from Warren to Cotton. And so therefore, it's going to have to be a 3rd and 15 now with the 1:19 to go in the second quarter.
Nick, if I'm Westside right here, if I'm going to pass it, right, I feel good about our defense right now. We've taken a shot 2 times. So now look, we have not heard Christian Jones' name on offense or defense. This is the time to potentially get him something on offense because he's out there in the slot at the number 2 receiver. I'm trying to get him the ball at the hash. That means, essentially in the middle of the field, or I'm trying to get him in between the hash and the number, allow him to use that big body, break a tackle, and possibly get us a big first down.
It'll be a Westside timeout here, 1:19 to play in the second quarter. Let's pause 30 seconds, take a break, and come right back here ahead of the 3rd and 15 play on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman, Harrison Orange back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Here, it's 1:19 to go in the second quarter and 1:19 of game time until we send it back to our Ticket studios and Harrison Orange to take you through our halftime break. It's 10-6 Westside with the lead ahead of this 3rd down and 15 play. Ball is on the 41-yard line of Westside. Shotgun snap. They looked, throwing right side, and that will be a pass interference on the play as number 16, that's Maurice Purify, who was the intended receiver up the far sideline, but a penalty flag is thrown.
A little too aggressive coverage there by number 7, Dayton Gaius, the cornerback, the 6-foot, 160-pound corner there for Millard South. I didn't think Westside was going to take another shot, but you know what? They are shooting their shot here. Essentially they're in take a shot range. They think they have found something or a advantage as far as their skill position guy against that left corner or left corners of Millard South. Now we're going to see what they do because they keep possession of the ball. It's going to be first down. Let's see what Westside does here, trying to get a 2-for-1 here and try to extend this lead and take a full control of the state championship here. And also, Nick, one thing I want to say, I know Marion Jackson, went out with, it looks like a lower leg, kind of injury. He's trying to get it going, trying to walk it off. Sometimes you got to make sure that you got to protect yourself from yourself here. I mean, for me, looking at him not being able to put a lot of pressure on there, I know he knows. Look, he's been having a great game. He's a great player. He's been dominating it both offensively and defensively. You got to make sure you don't put yourself out there and expose yourself to any more injuries.
1st and 10 as Warren will keep it on the right side, cut up field, get knocked down just past the 40-yard line at the 37, and that makes it a 2nd down and 3 upcoming for the Westside offense. 1:02 to play in the second quarter. It's 10-6. Omaha Westside leads by 4 over the Millard South Patriots. It'll be a shotgun snap. Millard South and Westside both with 1 timeout remaining. Quick pass out near side. It's caught by Cotton. Great tackle by the defender in space as Cotton tried to cut up field. Nice tackle, though, by Tegan Urban, the junior linebacker.
Yeah, like I said, there's 2 well-coached teams, obviously, both as far as schematically and fundamentals, make a lot of great tackles in open space against great athletes. I'm really, really impressed by both teams.
So now a run up the left side. Here's Tate Jenkins as he gets a first down across the 35 and taken down at the 32.
Yeah,
First
this
and
is.
10.
I mean, Westside's they're trying to score this with literally 1 second left and either get a field goal or a touchdown.
So now they'll spike it on first down, and that makes it 2nd down and 10. 22 seconds on the game clock, but that allows Braylon Warren and this Westside offense to take a breath, re-coordinate, reset, and attack from the 32-yard line of Millard South. The long on the year for the kicker, Everest Sherleisen, is 44 yards. And so to get there, that needs to be about the 27-yard line or so.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're 1 or 2 plays away from getting into realistic, field goal range, especially without a wind gust in sight. It's a good opportunity for them to get 3 points or steal 3 points going in before halftime.
Shotgun set, back to passes Warren. Warren throws it out right side, pass is knocked away. Good coverage on the play there as it falls incomplete, intended for Purify on that play. Brings up 3rd down and 10. Still plenty of time to get 6-7 yards and into Sherleisen's field goal range.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 10, and you got to make sure that you get within field goal range. But that's a good pass, good coverage. Purify was open, good 50-50 ball. And you know what's really good? Dayton guys who had a big pass interference before came back and made a great play on there and Purify on that pass.
3rd down and 10 from the 32-yard line. Snapback Warren looking to pass. Steps up, gets pressured, flag on the play. He throws it out of bounds, but this one might be coming back as it looks like it might be a hold on that right side of that offensive line.
Yeah, the flag came in there pretty quick, and you see one of the Westside offensive linemen. I think he either lost his shoe or lost his hand warming pouch, and so it's going to be interesting to see what Millard South does. Do you take the penalty and then replay 3rd down, or do you give Westside a chance to possibly go for it on 4th down because it was an incomplete pass? Because very easily you could throw it up again and get another pass interference, and then you'll be essentially with your backs against the wall. Now with 10 seconds left, what do you do if you're Millard South? Do you make them replay 3rd down, or do you give them a chance that they might have to go for it on 4th down? Because I don't think they're within field goal range, and so there's a couple options for Westside. You could snap the ball and kind of run around and take time off, throw it up, and hopefully get an interception and tackle, and it essentially be over. But right here, Millard South has decided to take the penalty. So now you got 3rd and forever, and now I think the ball is at the 42-yard line. So, again, you got to get a 15-yard play to possibly rush your – essentially, we used to call it red alert as far as the field goal team to get in. So this is a very – makeable 3rd down here. This could be a pivotal play if they are able to get field goal or get 3 points before half.
3rd down and a mile. Warren back to pass. He gets taken down from behind. Number 85, Solomon Baker, with another tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and that will do it for the first half. After 2 quarters of play in the Class A state championship game, Omaha Westside leads 10-6. But if you're Millard South, Jay, you're going in the locker room saying, that could have been a lot worse.
Yep.
On top of, and thanks to Omaha Westside for committing a couple of penalties, sure.
Yep.
But on top of that, we were able to shut the door and slam it, not allowing them to score a point.
Yeah, knowing that you got a little bit of momentum and confidence from your defense to really, keep the game. I wouldn't say within reach, but at least don't give up any 3-point or don't give up 3 points even going in there at halftime. It's time for Millard South to go in there and recoup. They got to refocus and make some adjustments into their offensive identity and what they want to do and what they want to accomplish. And now if I'm Westside, I'm coming in there actually in saying that we haven't even played well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for the first 2-3 series, we kind of just sputtered. We didn't, break a tackle here, break a tackle there. We were kind of just easing into the fight, right? And then once we got a chance to strike, we got 10 points. But then ultimately, I'm saying, you know what? This is where we try to separate ourselves against Millard South. And ultimately, it's going to come down to how fast or how quick if Amarion Jackson is able to recover. But more importantly, offensively for Millard South, it's either you're going to have to put more emphasis on Deshaun Prince to be more like your Amarion on Jackson, or you're going to have to move Chase Lofton around and be very, very decisive and aggressive on how you get him the football. Now, granted, I think one thing that people don't really give Amarion Jackson enough credit for, he's by far their best offensive weapon. Okay, we just need to come to terms with that. 4-star ranking or whatever you want to call it as far as anybody else. And this is nothing against anybody else. The reason why Amarion Jackson is their best offensive weapon is because he's able to take a short route, make guys miss, run through tackles, and score. he's able to run every single route in the route tree. You don't have to scheme him open, right? And so what you have to do is you have to kind of teeter-totter in between scheming Chase Lofton open, just feeding them the ball like we saw on the third or fourth series, where you just did a quickly, I call it now route, just get the ball and you throw it to him right now, because you want to allow him to use his athletic ability and his big body to try to make a big play.
Once again, your score at the half, Omaha Westside 10, Millard South 6. Here in the Class A state championship game, Omaha Westside searching for their third straight state championship, their fourth in the last 5 years, while for Millard South searching for their first state championship since 2009 here tonight. We'll step aside, send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket studios, and join you guys at the start of the third quarter. Harrison Arns will take it away when we come back on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, the Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited. All built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of November. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln at 27th and I-80.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hey, bestie! Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCAA.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at HamiltonIsBusiness.com.
Attention Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join us and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard, guard the good life.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Sea-Doo dealership. Score up to $300 off or a free 2-year warranty on 2024 Sea-Doo Sparks and $500 off or a free 2-year warranty on all other brand new 2024 Sea-Doos. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of September. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and watercraft in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Attention Nebraska sports fans, are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join us and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard, guard the good life.
All right, welcome into the Ticket Studios. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos as we got Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert out for some high school state football down at Memorial Stadium. Currently, they are calling the Class A state championship game that between number 2 Millard South and number 1 Omaha Westside. First half just wrapped up. It's been a close one for both teams so far. A little bit of a bumpy start, but nonetheless, second half should be just as exciting as the first half was. And again, that caps off today's Class State football game. Again, the Class A Millard South versus Omaha Westside. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as well, though. Tuesday, we got a full schedule. We got 10:15 starting us off in the morning. Class C2, we got number 2 Bishop Norman and number 1 Norfolk Catholic. And then at 2:45, we kick off our Class C1 state game. Number 5 Central City versus number 3 Wahoo. And the nightcap for tomorrow, 7:15 p.m. Class B, number 3 Omaha Skutt Catholic versus number 1 Bennington. So again, you can catch up all of tomorrow's state championship games as well right here on 93.7 The Ticket. We will have the call for you. Nick Sander, Chancellor Brewington, Jay Foreman, all those guys out there have been doing a great job so far and will continue to do so tomorrow. We got a little bit of time here left. 402-464-5685. If you want to talk some high school football, give me your thoughts on the current Class A state championship game between Millard South, Omaha Westside. Feel free to chime in, as well as the streams. Can't put a face to the voice, but you can put a face to the graphic at the very least, as we are calling some Class A state football. But yeah, like I said, it's been a good game thus far, and I'd imagine the second half shouldn't be too much different on the college football side of things as we're getting ready for Iowa. Hopefully continue what is now a 1-game winning streak, turn that into 2. And then who knows, if you win 2 in a row, now you actually start looking at some bowl games, some legit, if you want to put that title on them, bowl games beyond just the realm of the Duke Mayo Bowl. And some interesting teams coming up on the likelihood that Nebraska might end up facing. I think best case scenario, I see a couple projections where there's a way for Music City Bowl, possibly versus a Texas A&M, maybe even an Ole Miss. Give me just 2 big market teams and keep it out of the snow. I think that's what most Nebraska fans who have been eager to go bowling for the longest time now would enjoy the most, especially it gets chilly here. Be nice to go to a nice North Carolina location or any of the SEC Big Ten Bowl locations. But that being said, though, as we got a little bit of time here left. I'll go for a couple more minutes, and then we'll throw it to break. And then by the time we're out of break, we should be ready for the second half of some state football games here for you. Like I said, you got Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman down at Memorial Stadium. You got Thomas and Lincoln, Oklahoma. That would be a fantastic bowl game. Anytime you can get Oklahoma and Nebraska, I'll quick say the story before we throw it back down to Memorial Stadium. The game is the century that we had down in Oklahoma. Let's see, that would have been the era with still Scott Frost. I want to say it might have been Casey Thompson at the QB position. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that game of the century down in Oklahoma, I knew the Oklahoma-Nebraska rivalry was a big deal and that it's going to get the diehards from back in the day completely invested into it. The urgency that my parents and family had to tell me to take off work so I can go to the game of the century with them, like, it was a huge deal, one that they circled years back. So I'm all for it. You can get Oklahoma, Nebraska, especially this version of Nebraska that we saw with the Dana Holgerson offense. Again, not that much different from Satterfield, but just feels simplified. You could be that Nebraska team. I actually like their chances against, some of those better schools from the SEC, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, any other teams you want to throw in there. Like, this is a point, especially if we look good in that Iowa game, playing on the road at Connect Stadium. It's going to be freezing cold, 18 degrees. So if you see a fired up Nebraska team that plays well and through the brutal environment, who knows what that bowl game could look like for Nebraska, especially, I don't want to get too far ahead of the wagon here, but I'm also not the one playing the game, so I can speculate a little bit ahead here. If you beat Iowa, not only beat them, do it in convincing fashion, that's going to bode well. And when they're putting those bowl games together, it isn't necessarily by record. It is by record, but they can also get a little bit of a pick and choose if you can get that extra win in there. So that's one for me, for Nebraska fans. It's crazy to even look at bowl games to pick which one you'd want to go to because it's been that bad. But it's also exciting at the same time because I forgot what it feels like to be in this position at the end of the season where we're actually looking at potential bowl game sites for Nebraska. Took them for granted at one point in time. No longer. We got one more, Vandy, like that one as well. Shout out Thomas and Lincoln, and shout out everybody else listening to our state football coverage here, right here at 93.7 The Ticket. What I'll do is I'll throw it to break here, and if I come back for another segment, I'll come back for one more. We'll preview. I shouldn't say preview. We'll go through some of the earlier games this morning, let you know who all won and what classes. But if not, we will have Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman back at Memorial Stadium calling Millard South versus Omaha Westside. Don't go anywhere. We're going to keep it rolling right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Our coverage of state football championship continues right now.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Sea-Doo dealership. Score up to $300 off or a free 2-year warranty on 2024 Sea-Doo Sparks and $500 off or a free 2-year warranty on all other brand new 2024 Sea-Doos. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of September. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and watercraft in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with the loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
In today's digital landscape, the security of your business is non-negotiable. That's why you need better cybersecurity solutions. At Hamilton, we make it our business to protect your network, data, and digital assets with the latest in cybersecurity technology. Our dedicated team of experts has the technology in place to protect what matters most to you and your business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with better cybersecurity protection. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
All right, welcome back in to the Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street. Harrison Arndt still back here at the studio while the guys get ready. I imagine a little bit of extra long half times come state football, but nonetheless, it gives me an opportunity to give everybody an update. Like I said, we still got Millard South versus Omaha Westside going on right now. Millard South down 6-10. If you're wondering how they got to 6, it wasn't 2 field goals. It was a touchdown and a missed PAT. Omaha Westside, like I said, leading 10-6. In some of the other games today, like I said, we were covering well. Starting this morning at 10:15 a.m., we had the Class D2 championship between number 6 Riverside and number 4 Central Valley. Central Valley runs away with that one, and an unfortunate blowout for Riverside, and nothing to hang their heads about, though. Still takes a lot to get to the end of the road there, but they lose that one. Central Valley wins it 52-12 over Riverside. The next game we called with Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman, Chancellor Brewington, was the Class D1, number 2 Stanton versus number 1 Sandy Creek. This one, if you like offense, this was your type of game to watch. Sandy Creek wins it in a very tight one. They win it 44-42. And then, like I said, the nightcap, we're sitting here, number 1 at Millard South, down to number 2 Omaha Westside. Undefeated Omaha Westside at that. They're sitting there. 10-6 is the score of that game right now. We also have some NFL on tonight as well. Not on the brick and mortar, but since I'm filling my role of just giving everybody the score updates here, I'll do my diligence with the NFL as well. It's currently halftime. Baltimore Ravens looked like they were about to go ahead and just punt the half away, somehow get it across or make it on a 4th and 1 convert. They march all the way down the field. Lamar Jackson has a long throw, probably about 40 yards to Bateman. They are now leading it 14-13. It looked like they were going to head into the half with the Chargers leading it comfortably. But like I said, the Ravens go for it on 4th down on their end of the field, and they're able to not only convert with the field goal, but convert with a touchdown, giving the Chargers about 20-plus seconds left on the clock. They go ahead, just take a knee, let the Ravens take their touchdown at the half, and we'll see what happens when they come out of the second half locker room. But it's going to be plenty of football to talk about, not only today. Like I said, I gave you the rundown for tomorrow. Tomorrow, high school state football. We got Class C2, Class C1, and Class B. But on top of that, on Thursday, we're going to have a loaded schedule as well with our NFL. NFL Thursday right here on 93.7 The Ticket, especially how it is. If you're eating family, you don't want to have everybody's face staring at a screen. You can always just turn it on the radio instead. We got the Bears and Lions, 11 a.m., 3:15, the New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, and at 7 o'clock to wrap up Thanksgiving Thursday and all the good NFL Thursday, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Green Bay Packers. The 7 o'clock one I'll be interested in because I think Green Bay is supposed to be absolutely freezing. We'll see how the Dolphins handle that kind of environment. But like I said, we're going to have NFL pretty much throughout this high school slate, and then as the NFL gets towards their end of the season, along with all the other ticket content as well. We got plenty of things left for you here, right here on 93.7 The Ticket. With that being said, we'll throw it to break. Sounds like the guys back at Memorial Stadium are ready. Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman will be there with you to call the rest second half. Millard South versus Omaha Westside. Those guys will meet you on the other end.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Now back to high school football. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium as we're getting ready for the start of the third quarter. Thanks to Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios for carrying the load during the halftime break. We are just a couple of minutes away from starting quarter number 3 between the Omaha Westside Warriors and the Millard South Patriots. Want to thank our friends from Next Ag Appraisal and Realty for their support. As always, your land, your legacy, their solutions. Visit nextagrealestate.com to learn how their firsthand experience can help you in valuing, managing, and selling your property. All right, Jay, we are here 10-6 the score. Westside out in front by 4. What's Westside done well? What's something they can improve on?
Well, Westside's done what they've done well is just take advantage of the opportune field position that they were able to create, by timely defensive stops. And, they finally found a little bit of rhythm. I think you saw a little bit more of a QB take there from Braylon Warren, which essentially kept them either on time or ahead of the chains. And then I think what they need to do a little bit better is offensively, I would probably say, especially with the Marion Jackson out both on offense and defense, and he is a stalwart on both, that I would be trying to test whoever his replacement is. But then also they just got to catch the ball because a couple times it was right on time that Eli Johnson just dropped him. So more of the same, but then also they got to get a good drive coming out of this coming out of halftime, unlike they did to start the game.
Speaking of catching the football and throwing it, Jet, if you take away the score and you look at Jet Tamala's stat, it's 10 for 13 for 102 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. You'd sit there and say, yeah, you know what? Millard South has a pretty good chance to be either leading that game or at least in it. Well, they're in the game down by just 4 points. But, man, Jay, I know this is a heavy passing team, but not a whole lot of running the football, success running the football for Millard South.
Yeah, Gabriel Prucha, who's been their do-it-all all year, he's kind of always kept them ahead of the chains. Anytime they need a big first or third down conversion, they always look to him. They haven't really featured him. He's coming in a little bit banged up. He has 6 carries for 8 yards. And then ultimately, when you look at the 102 yards passing that Jet Tamala had, he started out the game 8 for 8 for 99 yards. So ever since then, he's been 2 for 5 for 4 yards. Yeah. And really, when you also think about it, 45 of those yards were to Amarion Jackson. Doesn't look like he'll be able to finish the game or play the second half. It starts to get a little bit heavy on a quarterback or an offensive scheme, even though they're immensely talented. When you got to think Jensen's out, Marion Jackson's out. We'll see if they start to elevate and really, really put Deshaun Prince in that mold, or they just go, you know what, we're going to go with Chase Lofton or bust. You got to think when they went down to Arizona and I think that school that they played was like Prescia in Arizona, really highly ranked national team. He was targeted 20 times, Chase Lofton, 20 times. Yeah. That's a lot for anybody, wide receiver or not, but let alone a tight end. So look for them to feed him the ball early and often once they get the ball back.
So Millard South will kick things off. Westside will get the ball to start quarter number 3. As Jay mentioned, Amarion Jackson still significantly hobbling along the sideline. Just does not look like he's anywhere close to being able to toughen this one out. Also wearing or having crutches is going to be number 18, Gus Gadsden, who was injured on a punt return for Millard South. He is standing on the sideline with crutches, so expect him to not be available in the second half as well. All right, we're ready to go. Westside will go towards the south end zone, Millard South towards the north end zone to start quarter number 3 in the Class A title game. Can Millard South get the three-peat, or can Millard South win their first since 2009? Here we go. Quarter number 3 is underway as this one fielded clean lead by number 6 for Westside. That's Tay Jenkins up across the 40-yard line and down at the 42.
Yeah, a little bit of a mini squib kick there, hung up in the air. Really good job there of communication by Westside. Tay Jenkins got it. He started out towards the Big Ten sign, then got back towards the number. Explosive play right there, explosive return, I should say. Now, this is like the third time in a row, I would say, that Westside has started with the ball at or close to 50. Now, listen, there's a sneaky stat here, Nick. Westside has 6 penalties for 60 yards. They've always been excellent of execution. So a little bit of the youth is showing there, but ultimately they still have a 4-point lead.
They'll hand it off. Tay Jenkins with it right up the middle. Gets a nice gain of 5 yards, maybe even 6 yards. Some scrappiness going on the far sideline between number 8, Christian Jones, and Deshaun Prince. Potentially 2 future teammates.
Yeah, that was that was.
That looked like George Pickens off to the side. That was George Pickens. Just the ball's going off to the side doing something else, and they're off, not fighting, but just scrapping it out.
Yeah, Christian Jones took him to IHOP there, a little bit of a pancake, and that was a grown man, 40 pounds, growing against Deshaun Prince, who's no slouch himself, and there was one winner on that one, but it's a physical game, and you see a little bit of tempo here from Westside. So we talk about adjustments, how to get in rhythm. They're trying to make an adjustment coming on halftime.
On first down, quick pass out far side. It's caught by Keenan Cotton along the sideline. He lunges forward across the 45-yard line and down at the 43, and that brings up 2nd down and 6. 11:01 to go in the third quarter. Westside, the opening drive of the second half, as they lead at 10-6.
Yeah, this is a methodical drive so far. It's looked like I imagine that the Westside coaches said, "Listen, we got to stay out of our own way as far as penalties." And they're just trying to march the ball down here and try to get 3 to 7 points.
As Warren will keep it off the left side, out of the shotgun, spun around, thrown out of bounds, just shy of that first down marker at the 38-yard line. Needed to get to the 37, so that brings up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, you see, remember when we were talking about Millard South and other teams that we saw throughout the year, last 2 years, we talked about, listen, great offenses start to attack thirds of the field, right? Where Westside is left side. They're going the middle, back to the left side. We'll see what they do here if they try to get a one-on-one down here with number 16, which is Purify, which they have the height, weight, and size differential against number 2, Taurus Rudd of Millard South.
3rd down and short. 3rd and 1 officially. 10:38 to play in the third quarter. Shotgun snap. They turn, hand it off here to number 5. That is Finn Christensen, the senior running back, and they're going to mark him short of that first down line to gain, bring up 4th down and inches.
Yeah, trying to sneak in a quick run there to keep him on schedule, and while they try to give Tate Jenkins a little bit of a rest. And thought they could get the first down, but I'm going to tell you what, man, that Millard South defensive front, all 8 of those guys, they play about 8 guys. Are tough as nails, and they're hard to run against.
As they may have gotten away with a false start, and they did. Now here's a false start going to go against the left tackle.
It looked like we're 50, number 51 on Millard South looked like he thought that he had the penalty. Did he get bailed out there? Did he encroach? And it just looked like a discombobulated play on both sides, but ultimately it was a false start on Westside.
I thought it looked like the left tackle for Omaha Westside, number 54. That's Jonathan Hurtado.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like he jumped early on that play, trying to get. They ran it to where he kind of pulled off and went towards the center, and so trying to get a jump on that one makes it a punting situation. It's 4th and 6 as they punt this one away, trying to pin Millard South deep. They didn't even put a guy back there, and now it bounces out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Somewhat of a disappointing punt if you're Omaha Westside rather. They get it out of bounds at the 20-yard line, which essentially is the same as a touchback. So why not be a little more aggressive? Maybe either try a coffin corner in the corner or just go downfield.
It works out the same anyway, and they didn't have a punt returner back there for Millard South. And more importantly, Nick, is Amarian Jackson was not back there.
Yeah.
So you feel very comfortable with them. Whoever they would put back there is not as dangerous as him. If I'm coaching Millard South and I have Deshaun Prince over there, and I'm assuming that he can catch a punt. And I'm sure that, obviously Amarian Jackson, could be all state and punt returner or specialist. I'm assuming that they have him, work returning punts. When you have a legitimate power 4 kid in Deshaun Prince, I'm going to definitely put him back there and try to just keep things moving the same, right? They're both about 6'3", about 200 pounds, can jump out of the gym, explosive, go from first gear to fifth gear very quickly. But now, more importantly, what adjustments were made by this Millard South offense that's a high power. Look, when you average 56 points a game, I mean, Nick, let's be honest. They came down here against Lincoln High and essentially just made them quit.
Yeah.
At 63-0 at halftime. When you're used to scoring that many points, you also have to be able to have what I like to call, I always like baseball analogies, is you got to be able to hit an off-speed pitch or throw an off-speed pitch. It can't be fastball. So it'll be interesting to see what adjustments they made. Do you try to go back to Prucher to try to get on time and on schedule? Do you try to overfeed Chase Lofton? Do you move Chase Lofton around to kind of, use that matchup problem? Or do you try to really, really feature Miller and Prince? You have to make a decision, and you got to go with it because you can't get the perfect play all the time.
They hand it off on first down. Here's Amir Hill. Hill still on his feet across the 30. That's good for a first down and then some. A nice run by Amir Hill, the senior wide receiver who lines up at running back for most of the time on that first down carry.
See, this is what I like right here from Millard South. A little bit of a tempo, hopefully not enough, razzmatazz and moving. Just take the thinking out of it as line up and play football.
Not all players were set, and so number one, Amir Hill, was not set on the far side, but that falls on Tamala there,
Right.
Jay.
Yeah, it does. Sometimes, what do I say, Nick, all the time, play fast, not in a hurry. But then also, like we talked about a couple times in obviously at halftime off air, is all the movement. What I mean by the long movement is, say you have a receiver on the left, lined up on the left on the numbers. He's going all the way to the right in the numbers. It's almost like you're trying to call the perfect play to get the perfect matchup. Listen, Millard South, you have the best roster in the state. You have one of the best rosters in the Midwest. And quite frankly, one of the top 30 or 40 rosters in the whole nation. You don't have to have the perfect play, because if one guy's covered, 2 or 3 are open.
Yeah. Tamala takes the snap on 1st and
Going
15,
deep.
throwing it deep to Lofton, and he was able to snag that, but it was incomplete. They're going to say that he did not stay in bounds.
Yeah,
now, here's the thing. Chase Lofton might not realize this, but there is replay. So here's the thing. We'll see the replay on the screen here. It was an incredible grab by Chase Lofton. If he was able to keep his foot in bounds, I just don't think he was.
He almost like backhanded it like like you were catching a pop fly in baseball towards the warning track. Listen, when you're 6'6", 225 pounds, and you can run and jump, and you got great hand-eye coordination. More importantly, if Matt Rule and company is still watching, the ability to track the ball is probably what is equally as attractive.
Snap back on 2nd down. Tamala getting pressured out of the pocket. Nice block by the right guard on the play. Tamala still running away from behind. Gets taken down for a loss of 2. It's going to be a sack. Once again, number 69 for the Omaha Westside defense, Joe Soria, the senior, 6'2", 220-pound defensive lineman, in on the sack.
Yeah, that's a covered sack right there. And obviously Tamala tried to make something out of nothing. But the one thing that's really, really impressive by this young, little bit smaller defensive line for Omaha Westside, not as obviously grizzly as the senior-laden ones that they had before, was the effort. Being blocked, getting up off the ground, and chasing the quarterback and causing havoc.
Snap back to Mala on 3rd down, taking a shot downfield, and it's underthrown. And Millard South will have to punt this one away. We have the Millard South coaches to our left, and they slammed the table when they underthrew that pass.
Yeah, I thought that was me, right?
Oh, it has been you.
I know. We got
to retaliate.
Yeah, we got to stand on business. But really, when like we talked about, Nick, this isn't a time to panic. Sometimes when you're used to playing, fast pace of upbeat, that you have to be able to grind it out. And we talked about a possession game. What was the keys, right? Westside likes it. This is right where they're doing their best work, is a possession game. You got to get out and you got to play a white knuckle game, and you got to get out there and get physical.
Punt fielded by Kean Cotton as he engages in contact there, gets across midfield, and essentially it works the same way as before Omaha Westside punted it away. All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification as we've reached the 9 o'clock hour here in Lincoln. We'll pause 10 seconds, come right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Outside of the one Tay Jenkins long run, 63-yard touchdown run, Omaha Westside hasn't done, neither side has really done a whole lot offensively. Braylon Warren, 6 for 11 for just 35 yards through the air as they fake the handoff pass right side. Watch out. Cotton is able to haul it in, but a nice tackle made on the play by Taurus Rudd.
Yeah.
Taurus Rudd was right there to make the stop for no gain on the play. It brings up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, a little bit of RPO action with a flat action there to Cotton there, and I like the play call, but I don't like it when it's so far going from the short side of the field to the wide side of the field. It allows a great corner in Rudd to get a beat on a big hit there. Nevertheless, it's 2nd and 9.
2nd down and 9. And another false start this time on number 68 for Omaha Westside. That's Connor Wayne. Senior offensive line. Man, every time you look at this offensive line for Westside, it's senior, right? You have obviously guys like Connor Wayne who just jumped. You have Joe Soria, who's a senior. Darrell Taylor is a senior. This is a senior-laden offensive line but multiple penalties tonight. That is their that is their 8th for 70 yards tonight.
And usually Westside, there's either 0 or very minimal penalties. And also the reason is it just isn't how old they are. But Nick, when you're facing this Millard South defensive line, it will make you jump now. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting a little jumpy. We saw it on the 3rd and short in the previous series. And so they got to get it together here because they're seniors and they play too much football.
2nd down and 15. Pass deflected, caught by another receiver as Eli Thomas was not the intended receiver, or Eli Johnson, rather. Yep. Eli Johnson, not the intended receiver. It went through the hands of, I believe that was Kean Cotton, and it went right into the lap of Eli Johnson. Johnson able to move the chains for a first down, as once again, there was a lot of traffic in the area, a lot of white jerseys, but pretty fortuitous for Omaha Westside as it went right into the hands of Eli Johnson. Moves the chains, 1st and 10. Here's the snap, Warren. Back to pass, crossing routes. They get it to Cotton, but it goes through his hands. That's his 2nd drop of the game, and it brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they're bringing the heat right down the barrel on Braylon Warren, so this is a learning experience for him, and so everything seems like it got a lot of heat on it, and they're running a lot of crossing routes. And so what he's trying to do is when you're playing in cold games like this, you want to put the ball on their body. So if I'm trying to coach some of the Westside receivers, I'm thinking about making more body catches. Hand catches obviously haven't worked out for their young receivers.
2nd down and 10. They'll turn, fake the handoff. Braylon Warren gets upended. A great tackle there by number 0, That's Daxton Williams, the junior, coming from the linebacker spot. Upended Braylon Warren. Fortunately, he did not fumble that because that helmet went right on that pigskin.
Yeah, a little bit of misread there by the young quarterback. If you saw the RPO fake, Tate Jenkins would have still been running to the touchdown. But, I mean, obviously it was probably maybe a called take. But right now, Westside has had 2 opportunities to literally get some drives going in the middle of the 3rd quarter, and you haven't got anything going.
Taking a shot downfield intended for Purify, and no flags on the play. Number 7, Dayton Geis, was in coverage, but Geis was able to knock it away from Purify, and that brings up 4th down and about 12.
Well, I like it, a little 50-50 play. You could say it was early contact, but I like it that they're letting them go at it. You would like to see Purify probably fight for position a little bit more. That might have drew the yellow flag, but nevertheless, it was a 50-50 ball. Great coverage there by the Millard South defense back. Look, this Millard South defense is listen, you got to drive in a half essentially before the half, come right out, stop them again. Now you're stopping them the first time, now you stop them again. They're playing well tonight.
Here's the punt. It's a little more aggressive towards that corner as it takes a stop right at the 1-yard line, and a great punt on the play by number 85. That's Owen Wright, the senior punter, was able to make it stop right at the 1, like my wedge shot on the golf course, Jay, as it just hit the green and spun back.
Yeah, really good job there by the Westside special teams. They're listening to you, Nick. I don't know if you have a phone that's going right down to the sidelines. They decided they were in the same situation, and they heard you talking from way up here. They said, listen, we need to be more aggressive. A really good punt, good English on there, good coverage, no panic there by the Westside Warriors, especially number 19. Diesel Klein did a really, really good job of doing kind of like almost a fumble recovery technique. Instead of trying to reach down and grab it with your hands, he essentially slid and put his body between the ball and the goal line. And now they have Millard South backed up without any resemblance of a real running attack, even though they ran the ball effectively on the first carry in the second half, backed up on the 1-yard line. So you don't want to be too cute down here if you're Millard South. This is a time for you to maybe change up. We got 2 big tight ends, go to 11, 12 personnel or 12 personnel, which is essentially 2 tight ends, 1 running back, line up, put that big offensive line on this Omaha Westside front to try to get out of your own end zone or back to your own end zone. And one of the guys you need to think about, Nick, as far as Millard South is they have a really, really big offensive lineman. They bring in Adam Pugh, who's obviously really, really good. Then their left tackle, Landon Von Zergen, 6'4", 280 pounds, power 5, power 4 guy, multiple offers, almost double digits already. That's the guy I'm going to try to run behind. They kind of flip their tackles, which is a little bit, not want to say odd, but it's obviously different. They also have number 66, Antonio Harris, 6'2", 275. This is a good-looking offensive line here.
They spread out 5 wide, and the quick pass is caught by Amir Hill. That'll give him some breathing room. It's a 6-yard gain up to the 7-yard line.
That's what you like right there. And you knew Westside was going to play a little bit of his own and play a little nothing deep or nothing cheap, nothing deep. And they keep everything in front of them. A good pitch and catch, get back on time. Good job by Tamala. Even better catch by Hill because he knew he was going to get crunched there between Westside defenders.
2nd down and short from the 7-yard line. Tamala going to take a shot downfield into one-on-one coverage. It's caught by Deshaun Prince, and somehow he stayed on his feet. Yeah. I thought he was going to be able to tiptoe the far sideline, but he spun out of the tackle, and then his momentum took him out of bounds. But nonetheless, a big play for 28 yards on the reception.
Really good job there by Deshaun Prince of high pointing the ball, and that's why I mentioned before he's a really, really good basketball player. That is nothing but a big rebound going over a defender. And also right here, you see Deshaun Prince right there. He was lined up in the slot. He was wide open. They had a little bit of a bust there by this Westside defense. This is a remnants of the first scoring drive for Millard South, where they started to go up tempo, start taking shots and being ultra aggressive. But also the biggest thing, Nick, that we're looking at, there's not a lot of movement. So they're able to be on time and on schedule. Now they're slowing down a little bit, methodical. Hasn't really worked out for them all night.
The incomplete pass on 1st down makes it 2nd and 10. They hand it off to Gabriel Pruka. Pruka goes nowhere, maybe a gain of 1 on the play up to the 36-yard line. We're sitting at 5:21 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's 10-6, Westside with a 4-point lead over Millard South.
Nick, from up here, it looks like you can get a good bead on this Millard South offense. When you have Chase Lofton essentially at times lined up outside the numbers, right, looking at the sidelines, that's almost an extra 20-yard throw for Tamala to get the ball to him, especially on a comeback route. So only route that he can run is either a go route or a skinny post. And so right now you're essentially giving up showing your hand.
Tamala trying to run away from pressure, a penalty marker in the backfield as he was getting chased down by number 56, Graham Hoffert. Hoffert was in on the stop. He's the junior defensive end, 6'3", 215 pounds. But this one might be coming back regardless. We'll see if they decide to accept or decline the penalty.
It would be 4th down and 10. You would almost think that you would decline it and make them. You'd assume they would punt, right?
You would imagine so. We've seen
or
crazier
what
things.
What was it? Was it a face
So it's going to
mask?
be a personal foul, a face mask against Westside. So the location of that penalty flag kind of initially makes you think that it's going to be on the offense as it was in the backfield, but instead Millard South catches a break. They'll move it 15 yards from the original spot, and that makes it 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line.
You know, as a coach, Coach Damon Benning over there, you know, you can't be upset. That's a good hustle play, and you're trying to get a big, strong quarterback down. Good job there by, it was Hudson Meade trying to take him down there, but just got a little bit up there close to by the neck area in the face mask.
1st and 10, they turn, fake the handoff, quick pass out near side. That was going to be a fumble if it was not hauled in by Amir Hill. That pass was behind from where Jet Tamala threw that ball, and Westside had a man in coverage. Number 11, Reed McIntyre, was right there to jump on the football if Amir Hill was unable to bring it in, but he was, and it's still a loss of 5 on the play.
And that's the thing, when you throw a pass like that, and it's a little bit inaccurate, low and outside, sometimes you think, oh, that's just a drop pass. That thing if it had hit the foot hit your foot the wrong way, spun a little bit, next thing you know, that's a fumble return for a touchdown.
2nd down and 15. Tamala back to pass, looking right side, surveying, had Amir Hill wide open, missed him. Now cutting across the middle, throwing across his body. It's caught by Pruka across the 40 and down at the 35-yard line of Omaha Westside. It's good for a 15-yard gain up to the 35 of Omaha Westside. 1st and 10 as Millard South pushing the pace. They'll have 2 wideouts to the far side. Amir Hill was wide open coming across the middle, but now they'll give it to Pruka. He spins out of one tackler, bounces outside left side, and a sheer numbers game is going against Pruka there as he's taken down in the backfield.
Yeah, back to the other play off schedule there by Tamala. Good job of being patient. Good job by Pruka finding the dead spot in the zone. A little bit of bad job there for Westside as far as plastering on receivers when the quarterback breaks the pocket, but I'm sure the defensive coaches at Westside are upset that they didn't keep contained and allowed a great athlete like Tamala to make a playoff schedule.
Empty shotgun set, 5 wide, 3 to the top as Tamala looks to pass, has a guy open across the middle. It's Amir Hill. He's got some running room, makes one guy miss inside the 10, and touchdown Millard South High School as they are able to finally get on the scoring board again with a touchdown pass from 36 yards out from Jet Tamala to Amir Hill. Amir Hill really stepped up so far in the absence of Amarion Jackson. Jet Tamala does his thing. He's now 15 of 21 for 186 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you see them attacking the middle of the field. They think they have a mismatch there, and it definitely worked out for them. And so Westside there, generally had a good beat on this Millard South offense. Really was porous in tackling, weren't really lined up. When you talk about the cause and effect, everybody's looking at this last play, a great play by Miller. But it all was set up with the loss containing Jet Tamala having a huge play after an unfortunate face mask. So now, again, if I'm Millard South or I'm Westside, I'm thinking that, hey, listen, we're still a one-score game. Obviously, 13-10 Westside. Westside has got to find a way to get out of their own way. They're approaching double-digit numbers in penalties, and they're untimely penalties. I think they have 9 now, right?
9 penalties, 85 yards.
Yeah, and there's a little bit over or quarter. There's a full quarter. It's 15 minutes and 13 seconds left. And so when you look at why are they down by 3, when they've had the last 4 possessions at or close to 50, they've had control of the game from a physical standpoint and a momentum standpoint, and they're down by 3. You definitely look at the untimely penalties, the lack of continuity on offense. When they started to drive, then it's penalty. If they got to have a long talk with themselves, look, the defensive line of Millard South is not only causing problems as they're playing, but then also they're making the offensive line of Westside awful jumpy.
So that drive by Millard South can't go unnoticed. 8 plays, 99 yards, and it took 2:56 off the clock, and it was finalized, capped off by an Amir Hill 36-yard touchdown reception from the right arm of Jet Tamala. So 3 minutes and 13 seconds remain here in the third quarter. It's now 13-10 Millard South, as this one so far has been everything we could have hoped for. It's a low squib kick fielded cleanly by Omaha Westside like a ground ball right at the 29-yard line in the heart of the field, and that is where Omaha Westside will set up shop. For Westside, to Jay's point, Braylon Warren on the day, 8 of 15, just over 50% completion percentage, 51 passing yards, no touchdowns, but also important, no interceptions. We mentioned Tay Jenkins, 14 carries for 112 rushing yards, and the 1 score, the 1 touchdown of the game so far for Omaha Westside, coming on that 63-yard scamper right up the gut into the north end zone here at Memorial Stadium. They'll send Cotton in motion and hand it off to Tay Jenkins, who's immediately stuffed in the backfield by a trio of Millard South defenders, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 12.
Yeah, there's big pew number 57 in the middle. I mean, you go up and down the defensive line. It's double-digit tackle for loss, and they have depth, and then also they're ultra-aggressive in how they play their defensive fronts on 1st and 2nd down. So if I'm Westside, there's no time to panic. But we got to get in some rhythm. Number 1, we got to decide, listen, no more penalties. Number 2, we got to spread these guys out and start working the middle of the field against them.
2:40 to go. Warren rolling out to his left. Now sets his feet. Pass is intercepted. Taken away by Millard South, and they will take over. 1st and 10 at the Westside 30-yard line. That's the first big mistake of the game for Braylon Warren, and give credit, the stout Millard South defense makes him pay.
Yeah, Torres Dodd did a really good job of playing a little bit of peekaboo defense there, acting like he was going to take the flat. Then he got back in on the level route and intercepted under the 7 cut. That was a really good play by Torres Rudd there. But I don't really like the play call. You're rolling to the short side of the field. You reverse out. He's thrown across his body. The best thing that he could have really done is just thrown it to the stands and just lived to fight another day. You're having a young quarterback that doesn't have a lot of experience rolling out across his body into a condensed formation with a ton of bodies. Didn't look like it was very well thought out.
Snap back, here's Amir Hill. Amir Hill spins around in the middle of the field in between the hash marks and is taken down after a 3-yard gain up to the 27-yard line. That makes it 2nd down and 7. The ball will be on the 27-yard line. 2 minutes, 19 seconds remaining here in the third quarter of action. It's 13-10 Millard South. They just forced the first turnover in this game, while also they have the ball now on the Omaha Westside 27-yard line. You feel like if you're Ty Wisdom, the head coach for Millard South, you're frustrated if you come away with anything other than a touchdown, as Pruka gets the handoff, spins around, is taken down by Simon defensively. Also in on the stop, it's Reed McIntyre. Brings up 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, I mean, Westside's they're thinking, listen, if we can get Millard South into field goal range or we stop them on fourth down. I think the way that the coach from Millard South is coaching, they feel like they got the momentum. They're trying to put the dagger in the heart or try to get it in there close to the heart. They're going to go for it on fourth down, but more importantly, they got to come up with their best play, and more importantly than that, the best execution here on third down.
1 minute, 24 seconds to go in the third quarter. 13-10 is your score. Jet Tamala has 3 wideouts near side, 2 to the top, all by himself in the backfield. Got away with a false start. Throw towards the end zone, and it's dropped incomplete. Wow. Christian Jones in on the coverage of Chase Lofton, and it will bring up 4th down and 5. But that play call also could tell you that they might want to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah. I mean, it was good on good there. 4-star against 4-star. Hopefully potential teammates there. Obviously, Chase Lofton, I think, is still committed to Florida State. Christian Jones obviously confirmed his commitment to Nebraska. Hey, look, that's 50-50 ball. That's good on good. Our best on your best. And Christian Jones came out on top there. Now another timeout here. Look, Nick, I want to say this right now. I mean,
timeout about Millard South.
Excuse me. Is that when you're here, when you're immensely talented, there is no perfect play. And you got to think players, not play. We talk about this all the time. And yes, it's a 4th and 5. We've been in this situation before. You know, if you have a good field goal kicker, I'm a big advocate of getting points, because every time that you score, it takes away a little bit of the confidence on the other side of the field, or other side, obviously on the west side, on their sideline. But I start to extend my lead. I think I would view my Millard South offense that eventually we're going to run off some scores. I don't need to essentially give them a free momentum boost by potentially not getting this 4th down and 5 and burning another timeout. Now not another timeout, our first timeout in the second half.
So it'll bring up 4th down and 5. The ball is on the 25-yard line. Millard South will keep the offense out there as Jet Tamala will have Amir Hill in the backfield with him. They have Deshaun Prince in the slot. Chase Lofton all by himself now at the top. They motion Amir Hill to the right of Tamala.
He's going to the flat.
We'll see what happens here as Tamala evades the pressure, steps up in the pocket. The pass is intercepted, and going back the other way, it was intercepted at the 2-yard line. If you're Omaha Westside, you're almost saying that you don't want that intercepted because it was on 4th down. Right. But instead of getting the ball back at your own 24, you're going to get the ball at your own 2.
Yeah, and that's fine, Nick. I mean, of course, you want the ball right where they're at. But I'm going to go back to going. I mean, look, we're up here. We don't have the pressure, of calling these calls. I mean, right? We're not the offensive coordinator. But it's the second time in a championship game. You don't have next week. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the last game. So you would have a 9.9. I'd like I said, I don't know their kicker situation. They missed the first extra point. They made the second one. And so they keep going for it on 4th down, and you're nullifying yourself of getting points. And then also the play type. With this type of offense and this type, when you listen, I'll just list off these guys here, right? Besides Amir Millen, you got Deshaun Prince, 6'3", 185. You got Chase Lofton, 6'6", 220 pounds. You have my man Dallas Geis, 6'4", 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. I like it, throw and catch at the 5 yards.
It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 3-yard line for Westside as they hand it off to Tay Jenkins. He goes nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage he goes. You asked about Millard South's kicking situation. Their kicker, Trenton Van Surskum, is 3 for 3 on field goals this year. Doesn't kick a whole lot.
Yeah, his long is
a 41-yarder this season, but he's 3 for 3 on field goal attempts. So 13-10 is your score. 31 seconds left in the third quarter. The ball is at the 3. They hand it off. Tay Jenkins trying to get to the edge, cuts up field, spins out of one tackler, and now is tackled after a 7-yard gain at the 10-yard line. And that potentially could be the final play of the third quarter. 3rd and 3 will be coming up. 10 seconds, not a whole lot of urgency here from Omaha Westside. They start to trot towards the sideline, and that will do it for the third quarter. After 3 quarters of play, Millard South leads it 13-10 as we enter the 4th and final quarter in the Class A state championship game. Millard South has a 3-point advantage. Omaha Westside with the football when we come back to start quarter number 4 on 93.7 The Ticket.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the start of fourth quarter here in the Class A state championship game. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman with you. Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. 13-10 is your score. Millard South out in front by just 3 points in a Class A title game that's kind of had everything. It's had some disciplined football. It's had some undisciplined football. It's had some touchdowns and some explosive plays, but then it's had times where offenses are stagnant and the defense stands up. Jay, if you're Omaha Westside here, 3rd and 3, back's not necessarily against the wall here, but you need to make something happen.
Yeah, we can get this first down. We can start to inch away and start getting close to midfield, and then hopefully we can get out of our own way and score. But more importantly, you just want to execute it. You should feel very, very confident when you execute. You're doing pretty well against this vaunted Millard South front and defense. And you've had other opportunities. Now you just got to match the play with the situation, and your big-time players got to make some plays. Now you got Christian Jones and Cotton next to each other. We haven't seen much for Christian Jones except for a couple of pass defenses. We need him to make a play.
Quick pass out into the flat is dropped by Tay Jenkins, and that should be incomplete. It was a clear recover by Millard South, but they're going to call it incomplete. And I think that's the right call, but that will force an Omaha Westside punt. And so, man, a disappointing thing. How much of this is Braylon Warren trying to get settled in on the stage?
Yeah. I mean, I think playing in this type of atmosphere, this type of pressure, you got to experience it. Listen, not only Braylon Warren, Tay Jenkins is a sophomore. That's all they have, essentially. When you think of Braylon Warren, Eli Johnson is a junior, Tay is a junior, Quentin Warren is a junior, Reed McIntyre is a junior, Brooke Brown, more pure. All these, they really only have 3 seniors.
Here's Amir Hill on the return, making a couple of guys miss, gets leveled on the plus side of the 50, past the 45-yard line and down at the 44. And so that is where Millard South will set up shop. 1st and 10 from the Westside 43. And, man, if you are head coach Damon Benning in this game because Paul Lamoni is out because of a medical emergency, the head coach for Westside hasn't been here. We found that out a couple hours before kickoff. But if you're Omaha Westside, you need your defense to step up more than ever right now.
Yeah, and it's nothing that they can't do. They're here and they've competed all game long. I'm telling them, listen, all we got to do is tackle well and not give up nothing deep and cheap. Now, if I'm Millard South, listen, they're showing you exactly what they're going to do. They're not even thinking about running the ball for the rest of the game unless it's some trick play to Miller. They're going to try to see if they can beat you by being spectacular out there on the edges.
Quick pass out to Amir Hill. Hill is able to get across the 40-yard line down at the 38-yard line. And so Amir Hill, who's been a featured part of this offense, he was starting out in this game, but then also has seen his work expand since the Amarion Jackson injury. They'll turn, hand it off. Gabriel Pruka up the middle, bulldozing his way across the 30-yard line and tackled just past the 30 for a first down for Millard South, as the Patriots having little to no trouble moving the ball here early on in this drive.
Yeah, so Millard South is trying to do a little opposite there. Let the speed guy soften you up for the power guy instead of the power guy soften you up for the speed guy. And then now once they started to have some success, they tried to go to a quick pass to Dallas Geist, and now it's a legal procedure penalty. So what they've done here at Millard South is they've increased their tempo. They definitely have used Amir Hill as their feature guy. Coming in, he has 36 catches, 573 yards, and 8 touchdowns, but his workload is increased. He's almost playing – they're almost using him as like Jakari Barney was used last Saturday for Nebraska. And so you see Westside now they've reached double digits in penalties. So right now with Westside, they got to gain composure. So for being in the state championship or a part of the state championship game 4 years in a row, this is the 5th. You're seeing a team that normally has little to zero penalties or zero to little penalties have double digits in the biggest stage.
So it's going to be a penalty on Westside. It was an illegal substitution on the Omaha Westside Warriors. Makes it 1st down and 5 from the 25-yard line. Shotgun set for Millard South. 2 wideouts to the top. Now they'll put Gaius up there as well. So 3 wideouts as Amir Hill is in the slot. Chase Lofton all by himself on the bottom as they turn, handed off. Pruka with it, unable to break out of the shoestring tackle. A nice job on the tackle by number 78. That is Luke Noonan. And a good job there defensively by the Warriors to get a stop after a short gain. It brings up 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, but you're seeing this Millard South offensive line start to get some push, some holes are up there for Pruka, and now it's trying to open up the passing attack. Now, also, you got to think it's heavy run because they only have Chase Lofton way out there to the left.
They turn, pass out, far side is hauled in by Chase Lofton, and it's good for a 1st down. I apologize on the previous Gabriel Pruka run. It was a tackle made on the play by Daryl Taylor, so I apologize on the misinformation there, but nonetheless, Chase Lofton with the catch on 2nd down. He kept his foot in bounds, and it's 1st and 10 now from the 14-yard line. They turn, handed off Pruka up the middle, unable to go very far after a short gain of 2 yards, maybe 2 yards, as both sideline officials walk towards the middle of the field, and they're going to mark it at the 13. So just a gain of 1 on 1st down. 10 minutes exactly on the game clock here in the 4th quarter. It's 13-10 Millard South, and they are on the doorstep of extending their lead.
Yeah, this is a game that where Millard South is definitely going to have to earn it. So they're starting to play a little bit of a small ball and more physicality. And so this is, to me, if they get 7 points, I think this is their best series or best drive where they're able to methodically take the ball, mix in the run and pass. Now you see the players that want the play calling coming in. Now it's another timeout. So what Millard South has to do is start to get back to the mix that they want, right? You haven't seen Deshaun Prince in there at all, right? So you're thinking this is going to be heavy Chase Lofton or Amir Hill that's going to lead him to success to get a touchdown. So this is a big series for him, about 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. You got to either try to throw it up to Lofton or try to establish that run game. But either or, this is a really, really good drive for Millard South.
9:29 to go in the 4th quarter. 13-10 is your score. Millard South out in front of Omaha Westside. Our schedule tomorrow, 10:15 a.m., we'll have Class C2 state football action on at 2:45. It's Class C1. Those 2 games at C2, it's Norfolk Catholic against Bishop Neumann. In Class C1, it's Central City against Wahoo. And that all leads up to the nightcap between Omaha Skutt Catholic, who Jay and I saw not last Friday, but the Friday before that in their win against Seward, against the defending state champion, the Bennington Badgers. Both those teams 11-1 in the nightcap. That one kicks off similar to this one at 7:15 p.m. tomorrow night here at Memorial Stadium. Okay, out of the Millard South timeout, it'll be 2nd down and 9. They will bring a receiver out to the near side. That is Deshaun Prince. Now motion him closer to the offensive line. It looks like Pruka is the lone back. They'll motion Lofton from right to left, and now he's on the outside. They play action, rolling to the right, trying to find Lofton towards the end zone. Throw is behind Chase Lofton. Fortunately for Tamala, it was not picked off by number 13, Joseph Simon, who was trailing Lofton in coverage, and Lofton unable to find that touchdown. And Tamala is now faced with a 3rd and 9.
That's the same play that they scored on in their first touchdown where they kind of ran Chase Lofton in a speed motion. Then he kind of ran essentially a circle route all the way back to the goalpost. But they were able to hit the flat route. So Westside covered the flat route, didn't really cover Chase Lofton. The pass was just a little inaccurate. But now we see Deshaun Prince back in. So let's see if they try to throw it up to him to try to get a quick 6 points.
3rd and 9.
Oh,
they turn, play action. Tamala looking to pass, getting pressured, stops, now hesitates, runs through. He'll take off, keep it himself, gets spun around inside the 10 and down at the 6-yard line.
But Nick, on that, that wasn't motion that he did right there. That looked like he was trying to shift because he was never set. As a receiver, he ran all the way to the other side of formation. And you snapped the ball. That should have been illegal motion, right?
That brings up 4th down and 3. Are you talking Amir Hill?
Yeah, right.
He had to kind of maneuver through a couple of tight ends that were a little closer to the line. I was surprised that there was no false start or illegal shift because they bumped into each other.
And he never got set at either spot. So
4th down and 3. It looks like Millard South will elect to try to make it a touchdown game, as it is a field goal attempt here. It will be about a 24-yard field goal attempt, but before we have a penalty marker on the play, and it's a delay of game charged to Millard South.
So, yeah, the difference between Millard South and Westside is that any of the clock management where you had to burn a couple timeouts, I don't think it really affects Millard South because they can score essentially in one play. Whereas Westside, with the numerous amount of penalties, have always essentially, especially in the second half, stymied their drive. So let's see if this 5 yards affects the outcome of the kick.
It'll now be a 29-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. He pulled it left, and maybe, Jay, that is why they've been going for it every single 4th down attempt. And with 8:35 to go, Westside, somehow, some way, they bend but don't break, and they force a turnover on downs after the missed field goal. And so it brings up 1st and 10. The ball will be placed at the 20-yard line when we come back in 30 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
After the missed field goal, it stays 13-10. Millard South with a 3-point advantage. Westside gets the football back on their own 20-yard line. Braylon Warren on the day, 8 of 17, 51 yards, no touchdowns, that one INT. Tay Jenkins been quiet in the second half here so far, 17 carries, 117 yards, as he gets the carry on 1st down and gets forward for maybe 4 yards up to the 24.
Yeah, you're trying to get something going positive, going straight ahead. That's a good run there against his defensive line and defense of Millard South there. So you're just trying to get something positive going. And like you mentioned in the last series of Braylon, he's getting used to the pressure and the situation. So this is you're thinking about Westside. You're probably going to have 2 more possessions. You're only down by 3. So essentially Westside or Omaha South gave you a little bit of a
double pass here as Cotton is able to haul it in. Purify now drops it. As Keenan Cotton got the toss from quarterback Braylon Warren, he threw it downfield as Mo Purify had his man beat, and Purify was unable to haul it in. And so a missed opportunity for Westside there, as that was a trick play that they dove deep into their bag for, and unable to haul it in downfield, even though he had his guy beat. It was a good throw right in the breadbasket, but as soon as he kind of rolled on top of that football, it popped out, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 6. Purify still down on the turf and slow to get up as he's being helped off the field and able to somewhat walk under his own power.
Yeah, like I was mentioning, is that Millard South essentially gift wrapped a momentum boost there for Westside. Now it's up to Westside to try to take advantage of it. That's a play right there that would have been more than a momentum boost, but I guess a game shifter, and Purify wasn't able to come down with it. But right now, when you think about it, if I'm Westside, we had a really good positive run on 1st down for 4 yards, which has obviously been more than you've been able to get without that huge run by Tay Jenkins. So, whether you get Braylon Warren off schedule, move the pocket, you got to get this 1st down.
And before our snap on 3rd down, it looks like Omaha Westside will have to talk things over. Let's step aside again. 60-second break. We'll come right back with this 3rd down snap on the other side on 93.7 The Ticket.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On 3rd and 6, they're going to keep it with Braylon Warren, and he will go forward for 4 yards. They needed 6, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 2. And now, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you run that play if you don't feel like you're going to go for it on 4th down regardless?
Yeah, man, that's a big play call to try to go for it on 4th and 2 at your own 28. Maybe you're only – I mean, 4th down calls has been huge tonight. You decide to go for it. Maybe you're going to try to get Millard South to jump off sides, or you think you can get that quarterback kind of power, quarterback sweep here to win this first, or not win this, but get this 4th down.
4th down and 2 from their own 28-yard line. They'll motion a receiver into the slot. Here's Warren scrambling around, evading pressure, and gets taken down, hit hard by Daxton Williams. Millard South forces the turnover on downs as Braylon Warren, the sophomore quarterback, got leveled by the junior linebacker, and Millard South gets a big stop in enemy territory. They take over 1st and 10 on the west side 27-yard line.
Yeah, going for it right there at your own 28, man. That takes some cojones. I mean, that's a game-changing, call if you get it, and then obviously if you don't get it. I personally wouldn't have went for it just because of I feel like I can lean on my defense for one more stop. And then once I get the ball back, then obviously not pinned down here at the 28-yard line, I feel like our chances of having to go for it and make it is a little bit different. So right now, listen, this is boom or bust for this Westside defense. They got to hold them to either no points or a field goal here.
It is now 1st and 10. They'll run it to Amir Hill. This is Hill now trying to cut up field, unable to get anywhere. Short gain of 1 on the play. Tackle made on the play by number 54. That is Jonathan Hurtado, the senior senior linebacker rather. And that makes it 2nd down and 9.
Really, really good job there by Christian Jones of splitting the double team and forcing that thing back up inside for his co-partner to make that play and tackle it for little or no gain. That's why he's a special player, for a 4-star athlete. He's able to do multitude of things. You see him out there covering the slot, covering Chase Lofton. He's showing his skill set tonight.
2nd down and 9. Tamala back to pass on the out route. Lofton able to high point it, and he hauls it in coverage. Chase Lofton inside the 15-yard line and down at the 14 for a Millard South 1st down.
That's a big boy throw there by Jet Tamala to a 6'6" wide receiver tight end, all the way across the field. And he slammed his head against the turf. He's a tough kid there too. Good throw and catch by the future college players there.
1st and 10 from the 14. Gabriel Pruka in traffic dives forward for a gain of 3 up to the 11. And it looks like the ball might have come out, but they're going to mark Pruka down.
This is the second time Westside has thought that they were able to draw or get a fumble against Pruka without it being reviewed. The first one looked like he was down. This one looked like a little bit more to the lines that you might want to get that reviewed, but nevertheless, the refs feel like they had a good angle on it, decided to let them keep playing.
It is 2nd down and 7 now, 5:45 to go in the 4th quarter. 13-10 Millard South with a 3-point lead, and they're on the doorstep just outside of the 10-yard line. Tamala back to pass, looking, surveying. Lofton running across the end zone, no dice there. Tamala still running around with it, looking for help, and he'll throw it in the end zone. Amir Hill catches it, touchdown, Millard South. As they extend the lead, it's now 19-10 with 5:28 to go in the 4th quarter.
Amir Hills came out at this second half and essentially taken over this game, and everything's been off schedule, right? And this is what a great job by Jet Tamala of kind of keeping the play alive, And then also the accuracy to throw on the run. Good job there by Amir Hill of not only keeping 2 feet in or 1 foot in, but keeping 2 feet and his whole body in. Great catch, body catch, strong enough for the ball not to come out. That now we're going back to, we've always seen go for it on 4th down where you burn timeouts. That's a huge decision to go for it on 4th and 2 on the 28-yard line.
The point after is up, and it is good. 5:28 to go in the 4th quarter. Millard South leads it now 20-10. We have the kickoff right after this in 30 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You want to talk about reliability. How about Amir Hill, as Jay mentioned, has kind of burst onto the scene in a larger role tonight, obviously, with Amarion Jackson unable to play this entire second half because of injury. Amir Hill, 8 catches on the day on 8 targets. That's reliability there. 64 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, including that last one to put Millard South up 20-10. Now they'll kick things off to Omaha Westside. They trail it now. They're doubled up 20-10, 5:28 to play in the 4th quarter. Still some time for Omaha Westside as they have 2 timeouts. A short squib kick fielded on the hop by the up men, trying to navigate his way through traffic is number 14, Burke Brown, the junior linebacker who fielded the kickoff there, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're Millard South has doubled, the output of Westside. Westside has not scored, obviously, since the first half. And so that 4th down call and for Millard South the first time tonight take advantage of the multitude of Westside mishaps. Look like they have a 10-point lead. 5 minutes and 25 seconds left for this young quarterback in Braylon Warren. Now you're going to have to see what you're going to do to be able to get 2 scores, and that's why that was such a huge call. It's a great call if you only hold them to 3 because you're within 1 score. 2 scores with this amount of time left, and your defense is leaking a little bit. Might come back to bite you.
Trips out to the far side. Warren back to pass, getting pressured, spun around and taken down. Number 54 for the Millard South defense. That's Elijah Melessa, the senior defensive tackle, came in from Warren's backside, grabbed his collar of his jersey and threw him down to the ground for a sack.
Yeah, great swim move there by the big man, the senior that didn't play much last year, and then now he's dominating this year. What I said, every Millard South defensive lineman has double-digit tackle for loss, and now they're just seeing blood in the water, and they are attacking this Westside offense.
And once again, that's another sack as Millard South gets in the backfield. That's number 57, Adam Pugh. And now 3rd and a mile. They got to go a marathon.
This defensive line of Millard South has flat out been unstoppable. I mean, if it's not Amir Hill, it's the defensive line. It was the defensive line that caused probably 6 of the 10 plus penalties. It was the defensive line that probably has double-digit tackles for loss. It's the defensive line that has been dominant when they need them the most.
3rd and 25. Braylon Warren has nowhere to go. He gets swallowed up. That defensive line tackles him down for a sack. It's a loss of 1, and Damon Benning has no choice but to punt this one away with 4:05 to go. And, Jay, let me ask you this. Do you think Millard South leans off the gas pedal?
No, they don't lean off the gas pedal. I guarantee they're going to try to take a shot or two to try to get this into, 17-plus points. More importantly, they feel like they have the most. And this is what happens. And we saw this last year against Lincoln East. East beat Millard South up and down the field for about 3.5 quarters. And then they went on a 21-0 run. Next thing you know, you got blown out by 14 points. And so now Westside has got to be able to get them off the field as soon as possible. You're going to have to either go for the block if you're able to stop them or have return on to try to flip the field, quick score, squib kick. But nevertheless, when you look at the different sidelines, right, where you look at a team over there at Westside that has been in the state championship for 5 years in a row, 2 back-to-back. Last year's team, a storied team as far as way they beat people. They won the state championship, I think 56-0 last year. Now you have Millard South that felt like they should have been here last year, went out and got some acquisitions through people moving in and transfer, whatever you want to call it. But nevertheless, been the best team from start to finish and the most sought-after team start to finish. Looked like they were, I wouldn't say dead in the water, but they were sputtering. They took advantage of the opportunity, probably got gift-wrapped both the early birthday present and a Christmas present there by going or for Westside not getting that 4th and 2 at their own 28, turned around Amir Hill. Now they have the ball back with 10 minutes left, or not even with 10 minutes. They have a 10-point lead with 3 minutes and 29 seconds left. If I am Millard South, I know I want to probably try to hang another score on them.
Yeah.
I'm lining up and I'm punching you in the face with number 8. I'm trying to get 2 first downs, sit on it. The best formation is victory kneel.
They turn, they fake the handoff to Tamala tries to dump it into Gaius, and he's unable to haul it in. In coverage was number 54, Jonathan Hurtado, the linebacker, and it's incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's the same play they scored on their first touchdown, and it's another play they tried to get to Chase Lofton, on a series prior, and they came right back to it. I think right now where Millard South feels like they can throw it because they don't feel Westside can handle their defensive line. But ultimately, I'm trying to win a championship. I'm trying to get out of here, and I'm trying to end the game with our best formation ever created. That's victory kneel. If they get maybe 2 first downs, or they get a first down here and maybe 2 or 3 longer plays in the second, if they're able to get a first down, the game is over.
3:06 to go and counting in the 4th quarter. 20-10 is your score. Millard South has doubled up Westside. They lead it by 10. 3rd and 8 coming up after the Amir Hill carry. It'll be the pistol formation initially. Gabriel Pruka lined up behind. Now they motion him to the right. It'll be shotgun set, 2 wideouts to the top, including Chase Lofton and Deshaun Prince. As Tamala in the shotgun, looking, takes the snap. They turn, they hand it off Pruka, and it's blown dead as it's going to be a false start on the Millard South offense.
Yeah, I mean, they have the full momentum here, and obviously you see that Millard South is starting to get after it a little bit against Westside. So Westside is trying to hold force right now, and as a defender being in this situation here, you look at the clock right there. It looks bleak, right? It looks like there's no way that you're going to be able to win. But the only thing that you can do as a defender right now, and especially with your championship pedigree, is you got to get off this field and get the ball back to your offense and hope that you get obviously a couple big plays and win this game on a walk-off, 2 touchdowns.
20-10 is your score. 3rd down and now 13 from the Millard South 19-yard line. They'll turn, hand it off. Amir Hill has a lot of running room across the 30, still on his feet, and Amir Hill may be gone. Getting tracked down by Simon, and still on his feet as he makes a guy juke and miss inside the 10. Amir Hill, touchdown. What a job by Amir Hill stepping up in the absence of Amarion Jackson. They lined him up at running back, and Jay, I'll ask you for a final time in Class A this year. Do you hear her singing?
I sing her. She is singing game, set, match. And you know what happens sometimes on defense when you sell out to stop their run? You give up a huge play. And let me tell you something. You talk about coming up big in big-time moments. Amir Hill, all 5'8", 150 pounds of him, essentially stood tall amongst all the Giants, sealed the game, 81 yards to the crib. You see Millard South. They see the elation over there. The game isn't over, but they know it's game, set, match. Big play there, and what do? And this is after Amir Hill had came out. He got tweaked a little bit. This is after Amir Hill came out. Then you know what? Not only did he get the first down, he is strong, he is fast, he is quick, and you know what? The moment wasn't too big for him. And so you got to get. If I had to vote for a player of the game, obviously Amir Hill would be number 1. Number 2 would be that Millard South defensive line. And you know what? They were the better team tonight. And Westside had a chance to win this game, to kind of do the Kansas City Chiefs, what I call like backdoor your way into a championship. They had too many penalties, which is unlike Westside.
Yeah.
Too many missed opportunities when Millard South was sputtering. And then once that offense and that momentum got going to that Millard South Patriots team, there was no stopping them. And, look, Westside can, hold their head up high. They came in undefeated 12-0, going to leave 12-1, and so is Millard South. But Millard South is going to leave with that hardware as you see them, all the hard work that they put in from last offseason. And I know some of the people at Millard South where they were disappointed that they didn't get to the championship last year by losing to Elkhorn South. It's a long time coming. They worked for it, and nevertheless, they were the better team tonight.
So once again, Millard South now leads 27-10 as they kick this one off. It's a low line drive kick fielded by the up man, trying to navigate his way through some traffic is number 14, Burke Brown, and he gets tackled at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Westside right here, you got to still go out here and try to, make up, 17 points. I know they got a little bit of dejection on their shoulders now, but look, the game isn't over. You got to go out there and put forth a good effort, and you got to understand that you guys put yourself in that situation. You got to finish right. You are a champion. You are a championship type of program, and to be honest with you, Nick, I wouldn't be surprised if they would be back in playing the same two teams will be teaming it up in a year. And, hopefully, God willing, we'll be up here calling it. And, Millard South got them this year. Westside's got to go back to the drawing boards. They're going to have a lot of regret considering when you look at the penalties and the opportunity. But nevertheless, they have to tip their hat to Millard South. That defensive line they were impressive tonight.
Snap back. Here's Warren taking a shot downfield. It's picked off by Deshaun Prince as he chucks the football in the air. That will be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Deshaun Prince, but that will do it. With 1:59 to go, Deshaun Prince in coverage went up, grabbed that football, and picked it off here in the Class A state championship game.
Yeah, the helmet came off and threw it out there. You probably got on YouTube too much. I don't think Deshaun Prince has any of the bad blood that normally the Millard South guys got, but nevertheless, celebration went a little bit too far. Nevertheless, listen, he was a great asset today when they needed a big catch on that 99-yard drive. You talk about Jet Tamala, right? Jet Tamala not really getting a lot of looks supposedly at the Power 4, and he still has some improvements to improve on, or some things to improve on, but he's playing the best team here. So you're not, some of your deficiencies are going to show up based on who you're playing. But you talk about Jet Tamala to turn it around, make some big boy throws, and to sit there with his back against the wall, right, with his team, his best offensive player on the mend, and to go 99 yards. That's in Millard South history, that's a legendary type of drive. And part of that drive was Deshaun Prince on that big catch, the 50-50 ball on the west side sideline that led to a touchdown, or was a big part of the touchdown. And then he turned around on defense, like we said at the beginning of the game. Obviously, I've seen him plenty of times. He's a really, really good basketball player, but he's even more impressive as a corner. And so that's why people are looking at him as a two-way player at the next level.
They'll turn, hand it off. Gabriel Pruka, short gain on the play. It'll be a timeout by Omaha Westside, so they'll step aside. Let's go ahead and step aside with them. We'll come back in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A minute 53 to go in the fourth quarter. They'll toss it out right side. Here is Gabriel Pruka, tiptoeing the sideline, stays in bounds. Great job by Gabriel Pruka to stay in bounds. His momentum was starting to take him out towards that boundary, but he spun back into the field of play, and a good job by the wherewithal of Gabriel Pruka to keep the clock running as much as they can.
Yeah, good. That's a heads-up play there, by Pruka to stay in bounds and take as much time off the clock. And obviously, Westside knows that the end is coming in a little bit over a minute, and Millard South knows that it's just the beginning. They worked hard to get to this point. Now they just got to finish it out, and they're either going to try to get a first down here, be able to kneel it, or bleed the clock and punt it with literally 20 seconds left.
So they'll turn, hand it off. Pruka with the football, trying to muscle his way across that first down marker, unable to get there. And head coach Damon Benning will call a timeout for Omaha Westside on the 4th and 2. 1 minute, 1 second remains here in the ball game. Millard South getting ready to win their first state championship since 2009. They were here for the first time since 2010. They were runner-up in 2010, the year after they won their last Class A championship. And so here, Millard South will have 4th down and 2 coming up on their own 29-yard line. Westside is now out of timeouts. It'll be on the 29-yard line with 1:01 to play.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Millard South, they've been going for it all night. I mean, why even change it right now? You try to get the first down to go to victory kneel, and so you don't want to give them a chance. You want to hold this 17-point lead. When you look at it, Millard South obviously had a very good, offseason. They obviously a lot of pressure where you have a lot of guys transfer in. Then you got to kind of get them in your program. You got to train them on the field, off the field, and they really, really worked hard. They took a big chance of going down to Arizona, playing a nationally ranked team. The first game of the year on ESPN, they went down there and showed well. Was they not able to win it, but they definitely competed. And I think that gave them a lot of confidence that they could play at championship level. And so that it was, beyond the scoreboard and the play on the field and the ability to travel and compose yourself and represent yourself was probably just as big as anything that they learned from it. And now you're seeing the fruits of their labor. And you got to think when Chase Lofton transfers in, Deshaun Prince transfers in, there's a lot of pressure and talk about it, but it makes it all worth it when at the end of the season, you are the champion. And obviously you had a lot of holdover young players. They're extremely young. Besides Chase Lofton and Amir Hill, he was obviously the player of the game. But when you think about what they have, coming back, you got Big Van Sergen coming back. He's a junior. He's a power 4 guy. You got Marion Jackson. He's a power 4 guy. You got Tamala, who will eventually be power 4. You got Dallas Geis, who will be either FCS power 4. Their defensive line has 3 of the 8 coming back. Their missed linebacker and Dylan Cool will be gone, but you got Urban coming back. You got a multitude of defensive backs. And so when you think about it, man, and you think about Westside as well, Westside's 2 best offensive players, Braylon Warren and Tay Jenkins, are both sophomores. This is going to be Clash of the Titans. And you got Mo Purify and guys like that. Mm-hmm. You got Cotton coming back. This is going to be a Clash of the Titans again the next year.
Millard South punted the ball.
Yeah.
It is now 1st and 10 for Omaha Westside on their own 40-yard line. 50 seconds to go in the ball game. 27-10 is your score.
Well, it's a good chance for, Millard South and their coaching staff to clear the benches. I mean, obviously this game is over, and the lady has started singing. And I don't know which lady it would be. It would probably, I guess you got Beyonce sing, right? That's what. Who would you want to sing?
Adele.
Taylor Swift? Adele? Yeah, okay, I like that, Adele. Hello?
1st and 10 from their own 40.
Ain't that what she said? What did she say?
And looks like Ty Wisdom's going to call a timeout here with 48 seconds to go.
This right here, this is how you get jammed up after the game. You do that. What'd you call him? Hey, Nick.
I'm not sure why you call a timeout. Let's do this. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
By the way, remind you, our exclusive title sponsor, Next Ag Appraisal and Realty, your land, your legacy, their solutions. Visit nextagrealestate.com to learn how their firsthand experience can help you in valuing, managing, and selling your property. Thanks to Harrison Arms back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, just a couple blocks away from us here at Memorial Stadium. Tomorrow we'll be on the air shortly after 10 a.m. as Class C2 action leads us off. Then we'll have Class C1 leading up to our nightcap Class B between Scott and Bennington. All right, 1st and 10 out of the Ty Wisdom Millard South timeout. You can't take any of them at home, so now everybody's out of timeouts. They'll turn, hand it off. Tay has it now, taken down and loss of 1 yard on the play. That is Tay Jenkins, the sophomore running back. 2nd down and 11 coming up with less than 40 seconds to go in the ball game.
Yeah, this game is over Nobody.
Is it over, Jay?
It's been over for like 10 minutes.
There it is.
All right. I mean, I guess you want to come keep running plays, but you ain't getting nothing out of it.
Second down 11 coming up here for Westside. As they're in the shotgun, they turn, they hand it off. Tate Jenkins gets tackled at the line of scrimmage, and that will essentially do it for the ball game. As Millard South is able to score 21 unanswered points. How about this one? Omaha Westside, the king has been dethroned as Millard South comes in and they win the Class A state championship game 27-10. Omaha Westside unable to win 3 in a row as Millard South, for the first time since 2010, is your Class A state champion.
Yeah, I mean, look at Millard South came in and they were down. You know, they looked like, I wouldn't say out, but they definitely didn't have the momentum coming in, you know, at halftime. They were able to make some quick adjustments, and Amir Hill just essentially took over the game offensively. Some timely throws from Tamala to obviously Deshaun Prince and obviously Lofton, paid dividends. But, Hill essentially making plays off schedule, being tough, elusive, and then that last run sealed it. Westside Westside, when they go home, they're just going to, I think they're going to have some regret. Now, I think they understand that, beating Millard South, I think when you see them up there, they definitely was more than advertised. But ultimately, I think when they get on that bus and go home and they get back in, whether it's in a day or two, and they really look at this game, they look at the multiple times that where Millard South was stymied and not in rhythm, that they were able to take over the game potentially, even if they were able to get 3 points or continue to get drives or keep positive momentum. And it was penalty across the offensive line or procedures. You got to think, Nick, remember when they had the big explosive play, I think the Cotton, they had a legal formation.
That's right.
These are things that Westside never is done over the last 4 years. But I think you, instead of, saying it, I guess you got, obviously it's their fault. But also, I think you got to give credit to this Millard South defensive line. They were flat. I thought the defensive line and the players they had last year were good. In my opinion, I felt like this group, this like top to bottom, this rotation was more dominant. I felt like they were more physical. I felt like they were faster. I felt like they were quicker. I felt like they constantly brought pressure. And they just kept the pressure on that offensive line and the young quarterback over there at Westside.
Once again, your final score in the Class A state championship game, the Millard South Patriots, they win it over the Westside Warriors 27-10. That'll do it for our coverage here on day 1 of 2 from Memorial Stadium in the state high school football playoffs. As tomorrow, starting at 10:15, we have Class C2 action, then Class C1, and all leading up to our final game of the football season, Class B, between Skutt and Bennington. For the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert saying so long. Thanks to Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios for pushing all the buttons. The Patriots dethrone the Warriors, and they win their first Class A state championship since 2009 here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CRF-R Motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CRF Trail Bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love.